Hey, welcome back to the episode of Ron Podcast. I'm your host, Juan, and as always, my co-host here with me. Hey, Trip.
Hey, dude, I'm very frustrated. I'm going to cut you off right away. We already did this once. I'm pretty upset because this week was supposed to be a special week, and I ruined it. And I'm sorry.
Yeah, so... Hey, Wes.
Oh, that's how you're going to do it? This week, we're bringing on a friend. We're bringing on Wes. He's been a homie for a little bit.
Right.
And he recommended that we all watch Garzey's Wing together when the pandemic's over. Garzey's Wing is a terrible show from forever ago, and it was a lot of fun to watch. And we'll explain why.
Absolutely,
I'm so bad right now. Going into this with different energy immediately. It'll calm down. It's all good. We're fine.
We're all spicy now.
Yeah, I'm especially spicy. But, Wes.
Yeah.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me on.
You kind of get to see a little bit of everything because we had some errors. You brought your own shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's all working great. Yeah, I'm happy that we're all here.
I'm excited
happy
too.
we're doing this.
Wes, you've not only brought, this amazing show into our life, you brought a really sick fucking camera into the studio. So for the first time, I think we're at 4K. It's Super HD. I don't know. It looks really good though on the stream. And I know there's people here that are, here to hear what you have to say, that you told them you're going to be on this. So don't fuck this up, Wes.
They're here to hear my expertise on terrible 1996 anime.
No, this was a really good time.
It was one of the first times I've gotten together with people since the pandemic, so it was weird,
special,
but very fun to watch some anime with some homies.
It was a good time, and then the more drinks it's the more drinks I drank, the more fun I had. So highly recommend Garzey's Wing for sure. And so Wes, we want to talk to you about anime specifically. And you were saying before we were recording that you feel like you might not be actually deserving to be on this podcast, but that's all bullshit because podcast is all bullshit and we actually don't even know what we're talking about.
I know that when we first got into this, we were like, all right, what studio do you like?
And we go
like, just the one that we know.
Madhouse?
Bones.
And I go, what's that? Yeah, exactly. And 5 years later, we're like, Bones, Madhouse, fucking whatever.
Yeah. At this
Mainstream.
point, this is our 250-something episode because 60-something because of whatever. We've been doing this for a while, which means that we have watched at least that many shows or movies, plus more, because we have condensed a lot of those into, when we were first doing the podcast, into single episodes. So it would be like, all right, let's talk about these 8 different movies.
Which is really hard. We quickly learned that that's not how you should do the pod. So even with all that knowledge, all those episodes, we still don't actually know everything about anime. So feel comfortable to say, hey, man, I don't know anything about anime, but I know you know Garzey's Wing, and
I know Garzey's Wing.
Oh, for sure. He did research. He did sound bites. I don't think we're gonna drop them today, but
Unfortunately, no, I did not bring those with me. But if we talk about anything prior to about 2008, I should be able to participate fully.
Cool.
After that, maybe not as much. I've been kind of in and out of anime over the past decade or so, so I will do my best to keep up.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. I mean, honestly, there are good shows at all kinds of different points, and whether you watch them or not is just like whatever. There's good entertainment at all times. You have a huge catalog to choose from. If you want to keep up with season anime, cool, but seasonal anime not really necessary for enjoyment purposes.
It's also not really healthy to watch everything that comes out every season, because there are seasons that are like really fucking bad. I don't know what year it was, maybe 3 years ago, like a spring season was painful. Like there was so many like little like Lolita cutesy shows, and like there was just a bunch of isekais, and it was like it made me hate the podcast. Because like this is just for fun, right?
Were you trying to watch everything that season?
Well, we used to try to watch everything. We used to try to watch more than one episode of everything to be like give it a fair shake, and then we realized that's unreasonable. We have lives,
I mean, also when we started doing that,
it
was like 20-ish anime that were coming out each season.
And
now it's 30 plus.
Oh, there's so many out there now.
Back then it mostly was just, hey, Crunchyroll. And then like we slowly got Funimation and Hulu, Amazon
Funimation
Strike
would have like maybe 1 or 2 shows, and they often weren't ones that people talked about in any high regards. They did dubs. That's what Funimation was good at.
Yeah, that's what I liked them. Yeah.
And then Amazon came out with Amazon Strike.
Right, their own like little section, their channel for anime.
But we got to do that because we already had Amazon Prime. So we were like, yeah, let's check some of this stuff out. And then they were like, pay for it. bitch.
I'm like, no, go fuck yourself. And then they closed. They didn't do it anymore.
Nobody wanted to pay for it. It was awful. And then we went into High Dive eventually.
That one's fair. It's $5.
Right away, they were just like, hey, there's a new anime streaming service. Check it out. And they didn't have any exclusives that we cared about until they were like, yeah, we've got like 5 or 6 exclusives. And we're like, damn, maybe we should do it. $5? Okay. Checked it out. I don't think any of them were worth it.
Maybe not that season. Maybe the next season, like Mitsubishi Colors was on there and we're like, oh, this is pretty good.
No, we watched that retroactively.
Oh, really?
There were a lot of things that came out on that service that didn't matter. There was maybe 1 or 2 that we did actually watch. And now we just have it because there's an easy backlog of stuff. And it doesn't cost much each month.
I think, is it Oh Maidens in our Savage season?
Oh Maidens in your Savage season was amazing.
That's an exclusive that was on High Dive. And we're like, wow, that is absolutely worth $5.
Wasteful Days of High School Girls.
Yeah.
That was fantastic. It's great.
Yeah. And, that's why we're here, okay? And so since all you know is Toonami and stuff from 2005, before 2005, what is the first anime that pops into your head that you checked out when you were like younger?
I think the first anime I watched was Dragon Ball Z.
Okay.
As I'm sure many people in my general age group would kind of attest to.
It was just on. Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z. So what story arc? Because there's really classic ones, right? Like there's the Cell Saga and there's like them fighting Frieza. Do you remember like what episode of them yelling you happened to catch?
I think it was when Vegeta first showed up. So it was the very beginning of the anime.
That's pretty good, yeah. I watched that in Spanish. I was in Mexico, and they didn't call it Dragon Ball. It's in Spanish, it's Dragon Ball Zeta. They didn't call it that. They're like, we gotta go watch Goku. It's time to go watch Goku. Let's go. I was like, all right, gotta go watch Goku. I had no fucking clue what they were talking about. And I was like, oh, it's that Dragon Ball shit. Cool. And it was in Spanish. Man, fucking Goku and Vegeta sound so fucking weird in Spanish. That was a good time, though. So, yeah, that's... and then you're not really versed in Dragon Ball, right? Like, that's something...
Oh, no. It would come on and I would be like, I don't care.
Like, meh, not enough guns. Not enough
I'm
Triguns.
sorry. I saw a gun show. That's cooler than this power show.
Yeah.
And then I didn't watch it.
Well, I don't blame you at all, because once you started getting the Cowboy Bebops, the Trigun, stuff like that, that's where my
anime expertise began. It was Pokemon and Digimon and Sonic X. I mean, we all watched Sonic X.
Gotta go fast,
But then, it eventually developed into more adult anime, Bebop, Trigun.
Yeah.
So Dragon Ball wasn't big in your life. Is that just the earliest one you remember, you think?
I would say it was big for the first couple of years until there was more anime on TV.
Okay.
Because that was really all you could get for a couple of years there. And then you started getting, like Sailor Moon and stuff like that started getting localized as well, Yu-Gi-Oh, all those kinds of things.
Yeah, I'm such a bitch for fucking Yu-Gi-Oh.
I was actually
love it so much.
Just thinking about the beginning of Yu-Gi-Oh the other day and
what were your
getting
thoughts?
really nostalgic.
What was the specific thought? Like, God, man, their shoes were so dumb. Why was Kaiba's hair that color? Shit like that.
Just remembering how wild the first episode was and how much just tension they put into that show over something that was at that point not even like a big deal in the show itself.
Yeah, was that first episode Kaiba fighting Yugi? Did he steal his grandpa's blue eyes? What was it? Maybe it's even before that.
His grandpa had a card shop, and then Seto Kaiba was being a dick, and then they were like, we're gonna battle. And
and then he bust out Exodia, and really fucked his shit. Yeah, that's what's up.
Right off the bat, they're like, "This is the big one."
Yeah.
So as soon as I was able to get off of dial-up internet, I was like, "What else is out there?" So using LimeWire, Kazaa, stuff like that.
Careful, we can't get too much trouble.
No, back in the day,
in the past.
There was.
We got him. He admitted to the crime. We got him.
It was like a weird
on
100 years
area back in the day.
Yeah. But none of the stuff was being brought over. So you had all this weird anime that was not on TV, would never be on TV, but it was being fan subbed by various groups.
Subs.
Yeah. So then I started to branch out into all this other kind of more obscure stuff. Like, Fate was probably one of the big ones around the time I was getting into that.
Well, now it's massive.
Yeah.
It's something so massive that Tripp and I refuse to watch it. It's very daunting.
I know. I get furious every time you guys talk about Fate. You're like, no, we won't talk about Fate.
It's terrifying. It was like when I found out about Fate, I was like, oh, this looks kind of cool. And I watched the movie. I was like, that was nice. And they're like, what else is there? So much shit.
Yeah. I don't know anything past Fate Stay Night, though.
Okay.
Just the original Fate Stay Night, Unlimited Blade Works, and heavens feel. But outside of that,
a lot,
yeah.
man.
That's cool. Okay, so dial-up really helped you out. I mean, losing dial-up, getting, actual internet really.
DSL.
Yeah, it was DSL at that point in time. It wasn't cable. We had DSL in my area, so I would, seek out these weird anime that nobody else was talking about, and then, put them onto my PSP and show them to my friends at school. And
for you youngins out, that's a PlayStation Portable, bro. It's a PlayStation that fit in your pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't have a PSP. I did have a PS Vita for like all of, a year or something.
Man, you bought a Vita?
I didn't buy it. It was given to me.
Oh. Okay.
And then I gave it to someone else and they took it to Mexico. That's how I was like, this thing
That's
sucks.
how it goes.
At least I wasn't a fan of it.
Well, by that point, I mean, you had an iPhone and you weren't really a video game.
I wasn't a gaming boy. Yeah, no, for sure. No. But I remember seeing the PlayStation Portable when I was younger. I was like, that's pretty cool. And I saw the commercial, like, maybe it was the Vita commercial where you could use it for like as your rear view window mirror for like a racing game or whatever. Like you could hold it here.
Yeah,
and I was just like,
they did that integration with PS3 for a little bit there.
And I was like, what a stupid thing. Like, where are you going to hang this thing? You're driving your car and you're just like adjusting something that's not there. Exactly. Mm-hmm. That's cool. Okay. Yeah. PlayStation Portable. Can you talk to me about Fandubs? Because that's something I never experienced myself personally.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I never had to. Like, by the time I got into anime, I mean, I also did the TV stuff like Toonami and things like that, and those were dubbed. And then I didn't really start watching anime like legitimately until like I could afford like Crunchyroll and stuff like that.
Well, I think that you did experience what Wes is talking about, but on shady websites instead of downloading it. Fan subs, you could get hard subs and soft subs.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And getting the soft subs, you have to download an extra file. For getting the hard subs, that's where you would watch stuff. It's kind of like YouTube, where it has it all subtitled already in the video.
Burnt in there. Okay, cool. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so there would be all these groups that would be, taking on certain projects that they would be translating over the course of a season or, going back to an older show that had never been translated.
Right.
And they would go in and put in the subtitles and
and do their best.
Yeah.
And obviously, I mean, I'm assuming you don't speak Japanese, so you're just like, yeah, that's pretty good, I guess, trying to follow along with what's happening.
Yeah, pretty much. I always wanted to learn Japanese at that point in time, but obviously not a lot of resources out in a mountain town to learn that.
Trip did one class of Japanese 1, right?
Yeah, and then they fucked me over, but whatever.
Yeah.
It's not about me.
Sometimes.
I signed up for a Japanese class when we were at my first Anime Expo. There was a chair there. There's like, there's never any chairs at Anime Expo. Right. And there's one chair, and I was like, I really want to sit in that chair. So I'm like, because I was exhausted. My dogs were barking. And I go, hey, can I sit here? And they go like, you sit there, you have to sign up for this, this thing where we teach you Japanese through manga and kanji or shit like that. And I go, yeah, all right, sign me up. So like,
how long was this course?
I never attended.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was like as soon as we got back from Anime Expo, a few months later, I got contacted like, hey, we're scheduling your first class, and it was like free.
Oh, it was a whole extra thing.
Yeah, it was free for like the first 3 lessons, and then after that, you started paying. And I was like, cool, I just won't ever respond because what I really wanted was to sit in that chair, and I got what I wanted. So.
You got the chair.
Fuck yeah.
It's fun to learn.
But no one's gonna take that away from me.
No.
Yeah. So we've all, at different levels, maybe attempted learning Japanese, or at least thought about it, and then just didn't do it.
Yeah, I think in college I took about 4 years of it. I'm not
4 years.
Yeah, I'm not conversational at all, but it's enough that I can usually watch anime without subtitles and know what's going on now.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
I don't usually do that, but it's fun to try sometimes.
That's nice. I just know all the words that I hear all the time, and then Trip tells me, "Oh, that word doesn't actually mean that." They messed up the translation. I go, "Fuck, this is stupid."
Yeah.
I go, but I'm not going to learn the language. This is the best it gets.
That's really. If you're not conversational, that's about the most use you can get out of it. You can be like, "That's not what they said."
Yeah, pretty much. Just like, why'd they say that weird out of context?
Yeah, I go, what? It's like, wow, that's a really strange word. And then Trip's like, that's not what that word means. That's not what they said at all. They actually said this. I go, huh? How do you know that? He goes, because I watch a lot of anime.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only thing that's helped me retain any sense of the language,
knowledge, not your Japanese 101 class. No, it's all the anime you pump inside of you.
Well, yeah. After that, I mean,
for sure,
there's no other source of getting that conversation.
Yeah, if you don't use it, you lose it. That's what they say.
Oh yeah, that's very true.
That's cool. Okay, so now we talked about what got you into anime, I guess. favorite anime? Maybe like an anime that like you like go to that you could just
Not like a top 5, but like, you know, a handful of like, oh yeah, these are
really good ones.
These are the ones that I still look back on fondly.
You know, if we've seen it, we could be like, oh, we could talk about it. And if we haven't, we go, well, that's fucking dumb. Let's keep it pushing.
Yep.
So going completely against everything I've said so far, my favorite anime is actually from the past couple of years. Is Mob Psycho.
Yes. Fuck yeah. That's
never
heard of it.
Wait, 100?
100.
I've heard of it.
Wait, season 1 or season 2?
Season 2 I preferred, but season 1 was definitely a good setup.
What was the best intro? Season 1 or season 2?
Season 1.
Yeah, dude. I think season 1 has a better intro, maybe.
But season 2 had better visuals for the intro.
Yeah,
That's really the difference.
The song for season 1 was better.
Right.
God damn it, this tears me up at night.
I know, and that's the thing. We'll never have a solid decision on that.
A solid decision.
I think season 1 though had more nods to stuff that was going to happen in the season that were like cleverly hidden throughout the opening. So like by the end of the season, everything's
in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Man.
Season 1 also had a better outro, in my opinion, because I don't remember the outro at all for season 2.
What was the outro?
But season 1 was the like sand art.
Oh
that was all
yes,
done?
fuck yeah, that was a really good outro.
Very rad.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you the season 2 outro.
Oh well.
Tell you it wasn't sand though. Fuck them.
I cannot.
They dropped the ball.
Yeah.
No, that solidifies it. Season 1 Mob Psycho 100 is the best season. No, I really like that show too, and that's a show that we had to watch for the pod, and we had to. It was part of our responsibility to watch every show that comes out every season.
Your sworn duty.
Is that how you feel about anime? You're just like, I have to for the podcast.
Sometimes if it's a show that I absolutely hate, I go, I know I'm gonna fucking hate this. But I gotta fucking watch this.
Well, yeah, if you're not gonna enjoy it.
But if it's but if it's like something like this season, I'm really liking a lot of shows. I'm so stoked whenever I get the chance to like watch what's going on this season. But Mob Psycho was one of those like episode 1, I was like, I hate this. Like I don't fucking get it. The visuals, and then I dropped it. And then Trip, did you drop it too and came back to it later?
Yeah, maybe episode like 4 or 5 or something. A lot of people started talking about it. I think we had watched 1 or 2 episodes and decided, you know what? It's a little bit difficult to watch when we don't know much about it other than it's the One Punch Man guy.
Right.
He made the web comic.
Yeah, for both
there
of
wasn't
them,
even a manga about it. We didn't have many sources. So why trust it? And then everyone started talking about how great it was. I saw a small scene and was like, man, we gotta watch this show.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I came back
to our lives,
and then it was it's absolutely one of my favorite shows I've ever seen.
It definitely has very unique characters and a strange way of telling the story, which wasn't really like anything I'd seen before. So that one really captured me. Me and my partner watched it together, and every time that I like try to recommend that show to someone that I know isn't super into like maybe art that isn't the prettiest, right? I always go like, hey man, just give it a shot, right? Hold on for 4 episodes. Like
you're not gonna regret it.
It grows on you. I feel like the visuals grow on you, because that was one of my things. Like I was just like, I think it's ugly as shit, right? And then I was like, by the end of this first season, I was like, this is the most beautiful show I've ever seen. Everything should have looked like this. My little logo for Discord is the mob melting when he's like joining the body improvement club. It just makes me brings me so much joy. That's a great show.
Oh yeah.
And any other ones? I mean, that was the most recent one, right? Are you watching anything like that's coming out now, or not really?
The most recent thing that I'm watching at the moment is Wonder Egg Priority, but I'm only a couple episodes in.
Okay, what do you think?
Good time, by the way. I'll say it now. At the end of this month, the last episode comes out.
And it's like a kind of like a long OVA, whatever.
Don't know how long it's going to be, but Wonder Egg Priority ended back in April, I think. It was March or April. 3 months ago, yeah. Yeah. And now it's going to actually finish on June 29th.
And we're excited.
I think that's right. So yeah, very excited for you to be able to catch up and actually watch the last episode within a reasonable time frame instead of waiting for a few months.
That is if you like it, because you said you're only 2 in. What are your thoughts so far?
Oh, I'm loving it so far. Yeah.
Cool.
No,
how do you not? It's movie quality animation.
It is really gorgeous, right?
It's really crazy how well that's animated for like a television anime.
Yeah, it's not fair. I remember like watching that one and being like, this is. I just this looks weird. I go like, why is this so nice? Where's I'm like, there has to be a flaw. It can't be. the perfect anime doesn't exist, kind of thing. And then I know Trip and I come to talk about it, and I go, yo, dude, this Egg show is fucking sick. And
It's got everything. Yeah. It's got sci-fi. It's got magical girls. It's got depression. It's got very fucked up situations.
Mm-hmm.
You'll learn more about it. 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
One of the best anime I've seen, and it came out so recently.
For sure.
How? It's crazy.
I will continue to look forward to watching more of that, though.
What studio is that? Do you remember?
Oh, yeah. I think it's a little studio
called
called
Cloverworks. Yeah, okay, they're pretty fucking sick. Yeah. They're also doing Vivi this season, which...
No, that's
not Vivi. Who are they doing? What are they doing?
They are doing the
Shadow House?
What's the name? Thank you.
Yeah, Shadow House.
Labyrinth show.
Yeah, the Labyrinth show. Yeah, there's one of the studios that have come up in recent years, and it's like I said, when I first started, it's like, oh, dude, fucking Madhouse till I die. Man, fuck Madhouse, okay? It's Cloverworks is a shit. A1 Pictures, fucking so good. There's just so many good studios that, like, the more you get into it, the more you watch, and the more names that go up there, and you go, wow, there's a lot of good anime, and I shouldn't be watching all of it because I got other responsibilities, but fuck it.
I wish I could pull a really deep name drop on this, but they put out a animated short back in like 2007, and it was one of the first things they did as like a studio, and I remember it being kind of the talk of the town. Everybody's like, whoa, look at the animation quality on this little 10-minute video.
Was it Shelter? Is that what you're talking about?
No, it was before that.
2007.
2007. What did they do? Cloverworks did? Oh no,
you wouldn't know.
Some random. Okay, man.
We weren't
real, alive back then. Yeah.
Yeah.
We weren't
real enthusiasts.
We weren't into the anime world yet.
Posers.
Unfortunately, it's so far gone at this point. I have no idea what it would be called. But I remember seeing that and being like, wow, this studio is going to be great.
Fucking amazing. Yeah. It's probably
because they were just like a tiny little subsidiary of A1 Pictures.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually they split off from A1.
Yeah.
Because they got so good.
Yeah.
I mean, they're the ones that made Sword Art Online look good.
They also didn't they do Erase? Is that something that's equated to them? They're like, oh, this is the boys, because when they actually got...
I don't remember if they were the ones that got credit for Erased or not.
Because when they got split, they go like, all right, we'll give, you can take these and you take that, and you go, wow, all the really good ones are kind of over there. Because for Animex, we get to go to a bunch of the panels and we go, all right, time to see all the... And we go, fuck this. All right, where are the shows I want to talk about? They're in that panel. Cool, man. So if you do happen to remember, feel free to let us know, because I'd be down to check that out.
Yeah, I might still have it on an old hard drive somewhere, so maybe I can even just give you an old fan subbed file for it.
Ooh, you gonna corrupt my computer?
Yeah, I'll give you some viruses.
Oh, sick. I don't know how to fix that. I just throw the computer away. So
they're gonna be 2007 viruses. It's an old hard drive.
Oh, I don't even remember if I have my anime hard drive, but like that's for sure what you had. You had like a 500 gig hard drive because you upgraded it over time, and then it got full of all these M4K? MK4? What were they called?
Yeah, and AVIs.
MKV? I don't know.
MKV if it was soft sub, AVI if it was hard sub.
It was some good shit, but the reason that you would watch MKVs is because they were less compressed as well. So it was higher cleaner? Quality. You had to use VLC in order to watch them. Okay. It was a whole part of the fucking weed
I don't know what any of these words mean, but it's so interesting.
It was wild being an anime fan before there was stuff to watch.
Yeah, dude. You just talk about a bunch of different file sizes. Like, yeah, man, that's fucking wild.
And then your homie hits you up, and they're like, "Hey, you heard of this?" And you're like, "No, of course not. Nobody knows what any anime is." And then you're able to, share the favorite animes that you have. Go, here's a flash drive. Give it back in a week.
For sure.
Yep.
All right.
Sounds about right.
I think another question we ask people when they come on is like, what is it that you like about anime? Because anime is such a different type of medium than other things like movies, cartoons, right? Because growing up, I remember watching a lot of classic cartoons like SpongeBob, Ed and Eddie, shit like that, like Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon stuff. And then every now and then, some weird show would pop up, and I'd be like, "This feels different," but I can't tell.
Hamtaro, man.
What's it? Oh, yeah, I remember.
Kind of shit.
Mine was like I watched Ultimate Muscle, and I was like, "Why does this feel so weird? What is this?" And no one really had an answer because
not weird in a bad way. No, like just weird, like different.
It felt different, right? And then it wasn't until later if I'm like, "Oh, that's the anime. That's not something from here." So, what is that for you? Like, what is the thing that you like about anime?
I think for me, it's the way stories usually unfold. There's anime tropes
that
you see in everything.
But you're not used to it until you get used to it.
Until you're really in the thick of things. You're like, wow, they really like that joke where they bleed out their nose. Like, that's fucking weird, right?
Yeah, and it just, at least initially, felt very different from anything I'd seen before. But I think the thing that's kind of kept me coming back is just the level of escalation you see in anime is... more often than not will take itself very seriously as it escalates to just unbelievable levels. And it does that in Japanese video games, does that in anime, and you just see stories that get to very strange places, but without being kind of tongue-in-cheek about it. It's like, we're seriously taking it here. This is the next step.
I remember when I first saw Gurren Lagann, I thought that it was kind of a parody of all of that anime bullshit. And I've watched Trigger a lot since then, and I now realize, looking back on it, that was just Trigger being Trigger. And like, no, this is what we do. This is the good shit. We're not making fun of it. This is serious. And it makes me look at it with a whole different perspective, which is wild.
Yeah.
But yeah, anime for sure had that different feeling of like, we are doing something very particular. You're not used to it. And that's okay. Team Rocket always blasting off into the sky every single time. That was just an anime thing, and you just got used to it, and it kind of felt like a cartoon thing. But then you go on to watch other things, and you're like, okay, no, this is just the kind of shit that happens in anime all the time.
Right.
Speaking of tropes, is there a trope that you cannot stand anymore?
Oh,
or still like seeing, whatever.
When anime gets really horny.
Oh, dude, that's my favorite, bro. We talk about you didn't tell them this is the horny podcast?
No. This one's not.
Oh, next week's gonna be horny as shit, though.
Well, I
don't
mean,
know.
maybe. It depends on what we watch. Next week, we're actually going to be doing a more Pride-type episode for this month. So it's going to be gay, and one of the ones that I saw, Kaze-san in Morning Glories, that one was way more erotic than I expected.
Morning Glories.
Without being, like, too revealing about anything.
Why does that sound so familiar? Which one's that?
You didn't see it, but I saw it when we were at Anime Expo, and it's one about two girls.
Okay, cool. That does sound familiar, though. Yeah. So, yes. Maybe it gets horny. We don't know.
Yeah.
You never know. But yeah, okay, so when things get too horny, yeah.
In a very fan servicey way. It can make an otherwise show that you're just enjoying for the plot and the characters feel very uncomfortable.
Right.
Like if it's built into the show, it's kind of like you can take it for what it is. But when something happens that is kind of off kilter a little bit.
Did you watch No Game No Life?
No, I did not.
All right.
Too horny. Don't want it.
Yeah, that's the whole thing with that, is that I'm like, I like all the parts of it, and then it's also very horny, which makes me not want to recommend it to anybody, but I'm also like, I like the game stuff going on, man. It's got a lot of good quality. It's great animation. It's got this unique color palette, this very interesting kind of dynamic between the characters that are dependent on each other. But then it's fucking horny.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, I think that is, I think it's a good point that you say that sometimes there are shows where like the horniness or that's exaggerated sexualization of things makes sense for the story or the plot, whatever we're doing.
Right.
But it is a little much when it's just like, oh, cool, just like a boob shot or a weird, like, what's the classic, falling down and then landing on someone's chest or whatever. It's like, yeah, they do get tiresome, especially when like you mature out of that. You're like, I don't need to see this shit.
Yeah, and it's always in very predictable ways. That's particularly like if something delves into more adult themes or gets a little bit horny, that's fine.
Yeah.
But when it's like, oh, this is the beach episode, or this is the hot springs episode.
Yeah,
we're going to climb that wall, and then something funny is going to happen.
Yes, the classic horny episode. Yeah, are the baseball episodes? They're not horny. Baseball episodes?
No,
that's
I don't think so.
Well, not the way I watch it.
What are you watching that has horny baseball episodes?
Well, you're missing out. No, but I'm saying like
you just like the sport so much.
Like those tropes, like you get the Bats house, the baseball is one of my favorite episodes that we would get, and then we don't get those as much anymore, do we?
No, it's not as common, but they're like the best baseball episode I think I saw was in Angel Beats.
Angel Beats was really good, yeah. That's a really good one.
So there can also be good quality. It's not just like a one-off type thing.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Which I think is interesting. But you could make it like sports episode. Like Eureka 7 has a soccer episode.
Yeah, who else has a?
It's not necessarily
Samurai Champloo.
Yeah, Samurai Champloo has a baseball episode, right?
And isn't that
zombie?
Is that the zombie one also?
Is that the same episode?
No, that's a different episode. In this episode, it is weird because they all get killed in the baseball episode.
Life. I call it a zombie episode.
And then there's a later episode where they do have zombie mushroom things, and there's like an atomic bomb.
There's an asteroid.
That shit's wild, dude. That's such a good show. Yeah, for sure.
I love that show.
Yeah, that's a classic. A trope that I don't like, and I don't see as much anymore, but I see it kind of with older anime, was the Fang, characters that would always
Fang was big from like 2005 to like 2018.
Yeah, you had The first one I remember being really mainstream was I can't remember her name, the green-haired girl from Haruhi Suzumiya.
Oh, okay, I've never seen that one. I don't remember if it's the Fang chick in that one, but she is. I probably don't like her. The one that I remember super big is the one from was it the one with, they were arguing about like which way you eat the chocolate thing. It's like
Lucky Star.
Lucky
Star. Yeah. There was some Fang in Lucky Star.
I was like, God, man, it's just something that like as a design, like a character design, I hate it. Like it just really bugs me, especially because I also know what kind of character that person's gonna instantly be because they gave them a Fang. You know, never have I seen a Fang character, I think, and I've been like, wow, they really blew my mind of being completely different than what.
It's definitely tied to a character archetype.
Absolutely, I'm just over it. I'm happy I don't see it as much anymore.
It's not as common, but there's the like flesh Fang thing.
Flesh Fang. You've seen that where it's not an actual tooth. It's just like they're just
part of their lip
that goes up.
So I take it you're not a fan of Nagatoro.
Which one's that? You gotta say what it is in English. 'Cause I don't know what it is in Spanish.
No, that's the show. Don't tease me.
Don't tease me.
You're being an asshole.
I don't like that one because it's too horny. That's the reason I don't like that one.
Is it though?
Oh yeah.
It's like aggressive sexual energy.
Okay. Yeah,
hey, if you like it, no, no problem. You know, it's all good.
I mean, I could see that. I read the manga, so
I read some of the manga, and I was like, yeah.
The show is way more horny than the manga is.
Okay.
I think reading the manga, I was like, I feel like I know what this show is going to be about. And then I heard people talking about it. I'm like, oh, you're excited for this show? Yeah, I'm not going to like this show. I think I watched the first one. I was like, yeah. It's just a hornier version of what's the other one, the teasing Takage-san, whatever, the teasing master. Like I was like, which I did like, but I was like, oh, okay, but yeah, she does have the flesh Fang, right?
Flesh Fang.
Fuck. Yeah, I don't like the flesh Fang. Flesh Fang, out of here. Get this shit out of here.
I bet it's going to be coming back.
No, it's a new thing. You think it's retro now, just like Converse All Stars, right?
I think that it works really well in manga, but as soon as it gets animated,
it's weird. It
bothers me.
Yeah,
because Nagatoro, like from what I've read of the manga, I never felt that same reaction of the like, the flesh Fang comes back.
Yeah.
No, it just has a different vibe.
Yeah, flesh Fang. Ugh.
Whatever.
How do you cast flesh Fang in live action garbage though? Like, how do you do that? They don't put it in.
You got to get some animators.
Get some flesh Fang in there.
Get some of those prosthetic like vampire teeth.
Oh yeah, to get the one too.
The Halloween ones.
I think I've seen that before in probably a live action. That's just something that just doesn't need to exist anymore. Yeah. In my opinion. That's just my opinion. Do whatever you want. If you like the flesh Fang, do it. If you like it when it's horny, do it. It's fine.
I have no opinion on flesh Fang.
No flesh Fang. What about you, Trip? What's a trope you hate really bad?
I don't know, man. I'm just not a fan of tropes in general at this point. I like to have I like to be watching it and be surprised at every moment.
Yeah.
So whenever it's something that just happens and I'm like, oh yeah, I've seen this, I know what's going to happen now, I check out. I start looking at my phone, I start texting people. That's kind of what happens with me. But if it's just like an animation type thing like that, I don't really care. It doesn't really have much of an effect on me at all. It's the story beats that I am more concerned about, less concerned with the animation, character designs and that kind of stuff. I'm just less impressed by it. Like, you do immediately know who those characters are, so when they start acting like extra over the top aggressive in certain ways, and like, it's not like tsundere, but it's a little tsundere whenever you see a Fang come out. You know, those kinds of things. You already know about the character. You're going to have your meek characters with like glasses and whatnot that keep to themselves, and then eventually they have those moments where they show their real personality and show what they're passionate about. You know certain things based off of the way that characters look. So that's why I always like being surprised by new character designs and whatnot, which I think Wonder Egg Priority does an amazing job with. To be like, yeah, our main character, she looks like the most basic, and then very quickly, I don't remember when, a couple episodes in, you realize that even though she's very depressed, she's also the like brightest character for other characters in that show, just based on how she's interacting with everyone. Yeah. So they're just, I don't know. I don't really give a fuck. Let's just put it that way. I just like anime, man.
Yeah. For sure.
So you just don't like when the story gets predictable or the characters.
I don't want to know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I want them to surprise me, and that's it.
Yeah. It's hard because you watch so much anime.
Yeah, because like whenever a comedy does something that you've already seen before, but they put their own twist on it.
Oh, that is nice.
That's fun.
Yeah, when there's a trope and then they like flip it on its head and you go, oh, they fucking got me.
Yeah, so I do like tropes in different medias.
Right.
They're fun to watch and see and recognize, and then immediately you go, oh wait, this isn't what I knew. This is something new. But with anime, I feel like they get stuck in that same kind of style, especially in slice of life type things. I don't know.
Okay. I guess the last question I have for Wes, unless you have something to say, was is genre. Is there like a certain genre that you prefer more than others?
I kind of like action, but also, I guess, slice of life comedy type shows. Two of the other more recent ones that I really enjoyed were Asobi Asabase, which is very
Workhouse
surreal.
of Fun, right?
Yep, that's the one.
Fucking love that show.
Yep.
What a great outro. Okay, when they're just rocking out, it's so good. That
Fantastic.
That's a good example of it. Them like leading me to believe one thing and then just absolutely fucking like the intro.
Yeah, the intro is them like frolicking in a field.
Yeah,
and
they're
like
chilling with
super
flowers,
cute, super beautiful, and they're absolute monsters.
Oh, they're terrible people.
So good. Yeah, that's a great show. Yeah.
And then Kaguya-sama, which I know you guys haven't really watched.
That's a Love is War one, right?
Right.
Yeah, no, I don't know what it is about that one. I just really wasn't into it. I know it's super popular. They got 2 seasons out. They might even be getting more. They have a live action. I saw that. Yeah. So that's that slice of life comedy that you like, right?
Yeah, I like that. And then action stuff, like, kind of shonen adjacent stuff like Mob Psycho.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's good. I think I can get into that. I wasn't a real fan of slice of life until Trip really showed me some of them. I just kind of really ignored. I'm like, there's no plot. What's the fuck's the point?
Yeah, at the
right?
beginning of the podcast, it was like, all right, I got to find some anime within those genres that Juan doesn't think that he likes and help him realize he does like it.
Yeah, for sure. So I've become more open and like willing to watch, slice of life. I think comedy is one that's still really hard because I think it's just comedy is very subjective, especially Japanese humor. I go like, why is that funny? And I go, oh, I don't think it's funny. Or sometimes they'll do some shit. And I go, why is that so funny? Right? And like they do a really good job. So yeah, so slice of life comedy for some reason pairs very well together, right? Like I think slice of life comedy will take over like slice of life that's more like dramatic and stuff. Like if I had to choose, like okay, I'll go with the funnier side of that stuff. And I do appreciate them a lot more now. But in the beginning, it was more like, get that shit away from me. I want a plot. I want a beginning and an end, kind of stuff.
There's definitely some Japanese types of humor that you'll run into in comedy that as you get, like you see it more often, it becomes less foreign to you and you kind of see what the like build up to the joke is.
Yeah, and why it's kind of funny. You go, oh, I get it.
Yeah.
That guy's a pervert. I get it.
Well, you're a fan of the Yakuza series of video games, which I feel like is just a specific kind of comedic anime that you play through. So you're pretty familiar with all that. And then you like Hinamatsuri, Juan.
I fucking love that. Have you seen that one?
And it's on my watch list.
That's a really good one, man.
And I feel like those have a lot of similarities. Just being about the Yakuza.
Oh, that's right. Aren't you and my mom doing a Yakuza podcast or something like that?
Yeah, we've been doing it for like months now.
Yeah. It's on the Patreon. Fucking give us money, you can watch it. We'll unlock it for you. Yeah, man. That's okay. If you watch Hinamatsuri, I'll play Yakuza. How about that?
Yeah, I think you would enjoy it.
I don't know. I've seen things in it, and I go, that looks fucking wild, And I've heard a lot of good things about it. So
it just to set the precedent, it's not all funny. It's definitely jumps between like very serious crime drama,
right,
and then just weird off the wall stuff.
Well, they are criminals, I'm not, you can't take that away from them. Speaking of Yakuza's, horrible show, fucking Way of the Househusband on Netflix. Did you get to see any of that?
I haven't watched any of it
dude, watch 2 seconds of it. It's so bad, man. It was something that we were really stoked about just because of the premise, and it has that really nice sweet spot of like slice of life comedy. But I really wanted it to be Hinamatsuri. It wasn't even fucking animated, bro. It was so bad.
It was mostly like still frames, right?
Yeah, and what was their excuse?
They wanted it to stay true to what the manga was. So they didn't want to animate it too much. Otherwise, it would feel so much different than the manga. So they just...
But wouldn't that be true for every manga?
They just decided not to animate it then. Like, whoa.
That was their excuse. It was wild. It did not work.
Yeah, fuck you, JC staff. I fucking knew it.
They should have gone with the excuse that it was a nod to old Yakuza movies, because that was a standard they do, is they would basically set up a still frame on somebody and that would be overdubbed by people talking. So at least if they went that way, they could have been like, no, it was a nod to old Yakuza movies.
No, they fucked that up. They absolutely ruined that. They wanted to stay true to the manga.
Manga's still great.
Yeah,
still great.
I remember reading the manga, like, this is good. I can't wait to see this animated. And I didn't get that, so.
Oh, well.
Yeah, so.
You heard voice acted.
Oh, yeah, the voice actors weren't actually that bad. At least the main voice actor, I feel like, wasn't that bad.
I mean, they've always been good at doing that. For all of the Netflix anime, I think that the voice actors have been pretty solid choices. Unless it's something that's like Yasuke, which is made by... it's made intended to watch in English.
Right.
And then... Why did... Lakeith Stanfield is so good in so many things. Why did he suck so much in Yasuke?
I don't know.
What happened?
Maybe they told him, "Hey, you're super cool already. Try to be even cooler." And then he just overshot it. You know, it's just like because he just doesn't feel like he belongs in that universe.
No,
even though that universe was, I feel like, absolutely made for him. You know, like hey, let's fucking do it. Let's make you the No, it's
whatever.
Another bad one. Don't watch that one.
Okay, good to know.
Unless you hate somebody, be like, "Hey, dude, check out this super great show." And then they'll hate you. It's
I'll keep that in my back pocket then.
all right, for sure. Well, do you have anything you want to ask Wes about anime in particular?
No, I mean, in general, like, you're familiar with anime. You get it. There are no surprises. We're talking about something that's from 1996 anyways, and you don't really need any context in order to deal with what this is, because it's so specific to what they wanted to do. I don't understand it still. We'll get into it in a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think that your history with anime and whatnot is pretty on par with podcasts, and levels.
You did say like, "Oh, I feel kind of bad, kind of falling off." Or like, bro, you're naming some bangers, bro. Wonder Egg Priority, Mob Psycho. No, he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, you just got to watch the good shit. You don't have to watch all the garbage that we watch all the time.
You just get to watch the good ones.
95% of anime is worth completely ignoring. You don't need to watch like any anime. But if somebody says, "Hey, this is a good one," consider it. Mm-hmm. If a lot of people say, "Hey, this is a good one," check it out. It's either for you or it's not.
It's not. Sometimes something's just not for you. Like
which sucks, dude. Demon Slayer.
Yeah, or like the Love is War one. I don't think it's for me, but I know that a lot of people like it. So it's like, I mean,
I wish that I liked those. I wish so badly.
What's another one that's like that? Re Life is one that people. No, ReZero. ReZero. People like love it.
That's another one that I am familiarized with, but I know you guys don't really.
The thing is, because I think season 2 is out, right, and done or whatever.
Yeah, it just came out 1 or 2 seasons.
So I was like, I'll try it, and I did try ReZero again. I don't know, it just didn't stick. But there's things I like in it. I think it is. I'm feeling that what's it called? That burnout from isekais.
Yeah,
and it just you can throw a rock and hit an isekai.
Next season we're gonna have 9.
Oh my fucking god, dude! I can't 9
isekais. Jesus.
But not to say that there aren't isekais that are made now that I still enjoy, like the Jobless Reincarnate that came out this last season. Even though it was a little horny, Wes, all right?
Okay.
It actually was really good, and by the end, at least where we're at right now in the season, it is not horny at all. I'm kind of disappointed.
It had no right to be.
I was like, what the fuck? Yeah. Where's the horniness?
Did it pull a Game of Thrones on you? It's like,
yeah,
hey, everybody, check it out.
They made me care about stuff, and they're going to really fuck it at the end like Game of Thrones did.
Maybe.
I don't know what's going to happen. They have great animation for that. They have
it's gorgeous.
Great storytelling. Mm-hmm. They just throw in a lot of really horny stuff. Who knows why? But
it's just, I think it's based in that really weird, the world, right? That's like that.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it didn't need to be there, but it is. But it works.
Well, it's based off a light novel, right? So it has to be. Rules are rules.
Yeah.
You want to be a novelist for light novels? Gotta make it horny. So.
And you need to have a name that is 10 words long.
Yeah, that's how.
And you're also a lot more familiar with visual novels than Juan and I are.
Yeah.
We have almost zero experience with those.
I went to a bar, obviously in the before times, but when bars were open,
right?
Drinking with a friend of mine, and he met some girl, and so I was just cool, just keep drinking while he does whatever he's doing, chatting up some girl. And this guy, sat up next to me. He's like, "Hey, dude." I was like, I'm not really, an outgoing kind of person, but would it be cool if we talked? Like, yeah, for sure. Like, let's chop it up. And you could tell, like, this was one of his first times venturing out into the world. And he's just like, so what do you like? I'm like, I like anime. He's like, I like anime. So we kind of popped off on that. And he's like, have you read these visual novels or seen? I'm like, dude, I have no idea what those are. He's like, he forced me to pull out my phone and start looking them up. He's just like, promise me you're going to check these out. I was like, dude, I absolutely promise I'll never look them up. And I think recently I finally closed the windows that were open on my.
You kept them open?
Yeah,
because
I'm like, I'll do it one of these days. Never did it.
Wow.
So I don't know. So if you're out there, if you're listening to this, I'm really sorry, bro. I hope you had, because he ended up leaving me. He's like, hey man, I gotta go see about this girl, and I was like, good luck, dude. Fucking do you. He was having a great time, I think.
I'm glad he was having a good time.
Yeah.
Very interesting choice to talk about visual novels with a stranger.
Yeah, well, I mean, we were both drunk, so we're like, let's. I mean, I've had way weirder conversations at a bar, but I was just like, dude, yeah, because I actually don't even really know what they are. So if you have any that you would recommend, and maybe we could do it on the pod, that'd be, we could do it. That'd be fun, I think.
That's a harder thing.
We could try at least, Wes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could recommend some short ones
Yeah.
or some very good ones, and it would be about the same as watching a full season of anime.
How horny are they, though?
Generally not too bad these days.
We're cool. Yeah.
Back in the day, back in 2007, when I was downloading visual novels off the internet, you couldn't get a visual novel without it having some sort of weird porn element.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
It would be like, oh, it's a fantastic story. Oh, wait, there's some porn.
Mm-hmm.
But so you think it's kind of pushed away from that? Like, it's okay.
Since they've become more mainstream, a lot of that has been stripped out, and they've re-released old ones with those portions taken out of them.
But you still have the good ones.
Yeah.
No, I don't think I do,
Fuck.
actually.
All right, well, what's the point?
What's the recent one? Nekopara? Wasn't that turned into an anime recently?
I couldn't tell you.
I don't know. There was one, and essentially the game was about fucking your cat girls that are all like 3 years old in mental age, but they look like full on adults, right? It got adapted into an anime, and they got rid of all the sex, and the whole point of it was just like to fuck these cat girls.
Well, I'm glad that you don't.
It's crazy, right?
I'm very happy you have no idea what he's talking about. I was like, cool, Wes isn't a total perp. Like, he's like,
I am not familiar with this one at all.
He's pleading the fifth.
Well, whenever anime comes up each season, it's like, Nekopara, what's that? And you go to the comments, and everyone's like, oh man, this is for that super horny visual novel. And you're like, all right, now I know enough about it. And then it comes out, and you're like, oh, time to watch the super horny show. Mm-hmm. And it's been like a year since you heard it was announced, so that's all that you know about it. And then they got rid of all of the super fucked up stuff.
What's left after that?
It's just a weird, like, slice of life that's provocative, but not overt.
Okay. Interesting.
I don't recommend it.
Okay. I won't check that one out as one of my yearly one anime I check out.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Sounds good.
But yeah, if you want a good one, you play science adventure games like Steins Gate or Robotics Note, stuff like that.
Their game element is like choose your own adventure.
Yeah, Steins Gate Zero. That's what it was.
Zero, yeah.
That was a visual novel originally.
I remember you telling me that. And then it got turned into an anime. Mm-hmm. Not as good as season one. I'm going to say it, man. Right?
Well, the original Steins Gate was a visual novel.
Was it?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, yeah. That, I really do like that anime. It's probably up there.
Pretty much anything made by Chunsoft is a good entry point.
Is that a publisher or an author?
It's kind of, I guess they're a publisher, but
it's a studio. Think of it that way.
It's a studio.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they do, the Danganronpas.
Yeah. Okay. I've seen some of those animes. Those animes are fucking wild. But I also I really like those because they had the whole survival element, which is one of my favorite types of, animes. Where it's like, cool, everybody's gonna die. It's like, yeah, I can get on board with this.
Yeah, they're pretty short. You can burn through them. There's a lot of gameplay elements. Or if you want to go the other way, there is 999 or Virtue's Last Reward, which are much more like puzzle games with visual novel elements.
I feel like it's a market we have not tapped at all, Trip.
Yeah, no, absolutely, because you don't like video games, and we tried Doki Doki Literature,
but we didn't. We stopped because no one else got together. I would have gladly finished that with you.
Would you?
Oh yeah, that was having a great time.
Okay,
and I've heard it gets really fucked. So
yeah. Oh, you still don't know what happens?
No, I mean I kind of know what happens, but I know you have to keep playing it after you beat it or whatever, and it just keeps getting worse and worse.
Yeah, I mean it's
is that a visual?
Yep, that's a visual novel.
Cool, interesting. Yeah, sounds like a good time.
How much of what's it called, the daddy dating simulator thing?
I know very little of it, but I've seen like
Dream Daddy. That's what
Dream Daddy. Yeah.
I saw some of my my teachers when I was in college play it for like a charity. Like we raised enough money and got them to play it or something like that. So, but I haven't played that either.
Yeah, that one's pretty funny.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a Western-made game, so...
Is it the Rooster Teeth guys or who?
No, that's Game Grumps, dude.
Game Grumps. Okay. Yeah.
It's your boy.
My boy.
Yeah.
boy.
Ego Raptor, your boy.
Yeah, my boy.
Your boy. But yeah, there's plenty of good stuff there. I think you'd probably enjoy it.
Yeah, we should try it. I mean, I'm always willing to give it a shot with anything, you know.
Yeah.
Whatever you got, drugs, let's do it.
Do you like reading books?
I don't read very well, but yeah.
That's why we've kind of never delved into visual novels.
Reading's hard, dude. Okay.
Yeah.
It's time consuming. I'm slow at reading, so visual novels take me forever to play through.
That's why I really like Dubs. Dubs allows me to not have to read, and then Subs like, fuck, I don't know what's going on. I'm just gonna sit here and pretend like I know what's going on, and wait till Sarah goes to bed, and then rewind and be like, oh, that's what happened. Okay, that was that plot element.
So when my mom was in town last week, I was playing Nier. She would like go out with friends for lunch and then come back, and I'm in the middle of playing Nier Replicant, and it was just after I beat the first playthrough, and then it starts the second one, and it's literally like 20 pages of text.
Yeah.
It's like nonstop. But I watch a lot of anime. I read a ton of stuff, so I'm pretty quick at reading. And as I'm going through, I'm just like, yeah, next. And then my mom's like, how are you reading that?
What's
like,
going on?
Are you reading it? Are you just skimming it? And I'm like, I mean, it's a combination of skimming and reading it to be like, that's the character. These are the things that happened. What are the exact words? I don't fucking know.
Whatever.
But I do know what happens in context, and that's key.
Yeah, I think even though I do like to read, right? I don't do it all that often. Audiobooks is something I do enjoy also. Reading a bunch of subs has improved it now, because whenever I read subs that are in English, because of like say A Quiet Place Part 2 or whatever came up, they're doing sign languages, so their subtitles, like I blast through them, right? Like I'm so much faster than I would be, you know, if they were in Japanese.
Glance down, glance up.
Instantly, yeah. There's other people who's like, oh, I can't, like, Parasite, the movie, you know. I like, such a good movie, and I recommend it to people even that, you know, don't really like subs, because it's so great. But that movie, I was like, boom, back up. Like, it's just like instant. I was like, fuck, dude, I'm getting really good at this shit. Well, all that practice is paying off. Yeah.
All that speed reading.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'd be down to give it a go, you know, the visual novels.
We'll explore that universe.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe we'll do it on the stream. Who knows?
Yeah. You know, after we're done watching like a 50 episode anime for our podcast that you decided that we should do.
Hey man, we talked about it and you said, yeah, we'll do it. That's not my fault. Anyways, I think we're done talking about Wes, right? Wes, you can leave now. No.
All right. Thanks everybody.
We're keeping the camera though. No. I mean, just for the pod. You can have it later. What do you want to do, Trip? How do you want to do this? Do you want to do anime we watch, or just go into news, or what's up?
I mean, yeah, let's talk about the recent anime that we watched.
Okay.
Because people aren't that familiar with everything that's out.
Yeah, for sure.
And especially if they're here just because Wes is our homie. You know, might as well talk about some shit.
Yeah, well, so we're going to talk about anime we were watching, and then we'll get into the other stuff.
Yeah.
So I only last week I watched more Crunchyroll stuff, less Funimation stuff. This week I did the other way, so I watched more Funimation stuff, less Crunchyroll stuff. It's been really hot fucking here in Chico, right? So I just been really, like, I'll go to work and then come home and just kind of pass out. So it's like the last thing I want to do is, you know, read. So like I said, I was able to do the Funimation episodes. So I watched, I caught up with Vivi. Man,
dude, the end.
Fucking, ooh, that show's so good. Okay.
It's on my watch list.
Yeah, that's a good one. I caught up with the one you saw last week was the end of the most recent arc with the girl that like commits suicide or whatever, right?
Yeah, that was last week.
That one has some really good just like animated sequences with them fighting. They look gorgeous. I really love the fact that they're robots, so they can really take a hit, and you can see and feel that weight. And they're a lot more durable, so that was sick. And then this episode, it felt like just a super chill episode, the most recent one.
Yeah, it was like totally just vibing. This is a nice time. Nothing bad's happening.
I'm kind of sad.
A little sad.
Yeah, I was like, I'm kind of sad with what's going on. Like, is she cool? She's just kind of sitting there for most of the episode. She's writing some music, right? And then the ending happens, and I go, oh no.
Yeah,
no.
It was so smart the way that they made it like out of tune.
Yeah,
if that
they really
without spoiling anything, just oh man, what a wonderful thing to do with the music. It's been visually stunning. The story has been fantastic, but they went to a different level where, of course, it's about this robot that sings and performs music and whatnot. But the way that they were able to incorporate music in the after credits scene was one of the best things that I've seen done. in an anime recently with any of its audio.
Yeah, for sure.
Fuck, man, so good.
I think like maybe Wes is feeling this way because he doesn't know what's going on. But Sierra was like sitting on the couch. She's been catching a few episodes of it, but she's obviously not as in it as I am.
Yeah, she hates anime. Yeah,
she hates anime. No, she's watching the newest season of Attack on Titan. We're sorry, right? That's what you said. I was like, oh, I'm sorry for her. It's a really good show. You should watch Attack on Titan. But I'm watching Vivi. The ending happens, and I'm freaking out. And Sierra like could not give a fuck. And I go, Sierra, the thing and she's just like, yeah, okay, just like on her phone. I'm like, oh no,
yeah,
no one appreciates this. But Trip, I can't wait to see Trip and be like,
dude, I know,
I lost my shit. It's so good. That's probably one of the best shows this season.
It was like a haunting end.
No clue.
Wit's killing it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Wit's a great studio, right? So I'm happy that they're making good. I'm happy they can make good stuff that isn't Attack on Titan, right?
Yeah,
because they've been doing it for so long. So yeah, Vivi up there. I'm gonna for sure. I know I recommended it to a few friends. I'm gonna hit it like even hard. Like, hey, you have to watch this. It's so good. So caught up with that. I caught up with Super Cub, but not really because the most recent episode came out today, which we don't watch. Chill vibes. They meet the newest girl. She has like a weird.
Well, they already met her, and then we got to meet
her family. But yeah, she has like a weird like cafe that is also a bakery, and they have like American vibe and a German vibe, and she really wants to make French cappuccino or Italian stuff. It's like it's really odd. Like I was just like, this is a very strange thing.
Loved it. I loved this episode.
Yeah.
Super Cub is the best slice of life I've seen in a while.
Yeah.
It has such chill vibes while having interesting characters, a kind of niche topic without it being in your face. Like a lot of people really like Laid Back Camp, Yuri Camp, because it has similar, just like, it's chill, we're hanging out, we're learning about camping, we're just mostly camping, but it also has these like hectic moments and whatnot. Super Cub doesn't really have those hectic moments at all. It's very mellow, very low key, and somehow insanely interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know specifically what it is that makes it so interesting, but when we're watching the first episode and talking about it on the podcast, both of us were like, how did you feel about this? Because I really liked it, and it's grown on me so much more, too.
It's also, like, I think it's always funny when we always come to do our preview for anime, we sit down and we kind of like, hey, so how about, because we don't want to give everything off, right? Because we watch so much, but it is funny to be like, how about this one? And you go, I liked it. I liked it too. Until we blow up. It's a really good one. I like the way it looks, and it's not, I don't think it's interesting. You really pointed out the watercolors, right? The backgrounds. It's really pretty. And one of my favorite things that they do is this girl, she kind of has like a listless life, right? She's like, just kind of going through the motions. She really doesn't have anything. She ends up buying a motorbike.
No family, one of those situations.
Yeah, both her parents died in some horrible accident we have nothing know about. She's poor.
It's not the focus.
She buys a motorbike and like things get better. And I just love that every time when something like simple or sweet happens, everything in the show brightens up. Like all the colors start to pop because she's a very
really
pale, gray character. Yeah, and then I think in this episode, she drank coffee, and then the world just went, and I was like, wow, that's so it's so pretty. I'm just like, I'm not gonna cry because this isn't a sad moment. She's happy, I'm happy too, kind of thing.
You could cry.
No, fuck that. Not in this show. I'm
cry
not
for
wasting my
something
tears
beautiful,
here.
Man.
It's really good. It's.
I feel like the finale of Super Cub's gonna hit really hard because you're like, it's not gonna be here anymore.
Yeah, hopefully, I don't know how well it's tracking, but maybe like it can get more because it is just a really chill thing. There's no real stakes to it, so a lot of shows like that do get kind of thrown to the wayside in the future. They go, well, no plot, no blah, 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 and they just kind of let it go. But it is a manga. I did see that. So maybe if it doesn't get picked up, I can continue to read it, and maybe I can get the same joy I get out of it. But it is really nice. So Super Cub caught up, not really, but And then the last show I think I watched was Shadow House. Yeah, so they're still doing the trial. I have no fucking idea what's going on by the end of this episode.
Oh man, it's been really exciting because the trial's gone on a lot further than we expected.
Yeah, I thought it'd be done by now.
Yeah. While there have been puzzles, the puzzles haven't been like very captivating to me.
They've been pretty simple, yeah.
So I was a little bit disappointed in that, where like you go into it and they're like, oh, it's a whole thing. And then they keep revealing new layers to what the trial is. Each new layer is very exciting and it has somewhat underwhelming complications.
Yeah. The solutions are always just like, oh, it was that simple? Oh, okay, cool. Oh, you said it'll look a little bit harder? Oh,
yeah, but
cool.
the thing is that there are so many problems, and it's like, this seems like it would be an issue, and it's pretty easily resolved.
Yeah.
That being said, I'm still incredibly engaged.
Especially because I have no idea what's going on. I don't know who the bad guys are. I don't know what's going to happen if they pass the trial, right? Now that they're trying to debut, right? Like, what does that mean? I don't fucking know.
What I really want to know about is, it's been revealed more and more that the soot can be controlled in different ways. The soot isn't necessarily something that everybody has control over. And our main boy who's hosting this event, he's either got some crazy soot stuff going on, or his master does, or whatever.
Yeah.
Or it's just an even more fucked up situation that we don't know about.
Yeah.
And there are so many little possible theories that you could come up with behind what could happen, but none of it feels like it's worth it because it's so esoteric. Each new step is like, the fuck is going on now? Like, who are these people? There's even more people involved with this. These ones don't actually matter. Oh, there's a weird power dynamic between those two characters that we don't even know.
Yeah,
like
it just keeps bringing up more questions and not enough answers,
which is okay.
But I am a huge slut for more questions. Right? I'm like, I just gotta know what those answers are. It's the whole Attack on Titan, what's in the basement kind of situation.
Yeah.
Like, we'll find out when we finally find out, kind of thing.
It's dark. It's whimsical.
Yeah.
I love the characters, and it has been consistent. I haven't felt like there's been any episode that I go, not really a good one.
Yeah, I will say, all that being said, Shadow House is really good. I still think it's still not in like my favorite of the season kind of thing. Like I will adamantly tell Wes, you have to watch Vivi, right?
Well, we haven't hit that point to where it really gets interesting. But I want to know what happens each week. I really look forward to watching it.
I hope we get there. I hope by the end of the season, like, I'm super excited for if there's a sequel, because there's no way we're episode 8 or 9 right now, right? I doubt we're going to be able to finish all this up by 12 or whatever, which is just assuming they're 12. They could be more, but I don't think it's a 2-core thing. So
yeah, finish the debut and then wrap up
in a little bit, right? So yeah, but that's all the anime I got to watch this week. I missed out on I think To Your Eternity, Tokyo Revengers, and then Odd Taxi. That's like, those are the things I like.
Those are the ones that you constantly
sure watch. Yeah.
Well, you're usually a week ahead a week ahead of me on To Your Eternity. So the last one that I saw is what you talked about last week. Still a fantastic show.
Right. Yeah.
I think that's definitely a must watch of the season.
Sure.
Especially coming in with the theme song "Pink Blood" by Utada Hikaru.
Okay. Is that yeah? For the To Your Eternity, that's the intro.
So good. So good. And then Odd Taxi, I think you are also a week ahead usually. So I just watched the last one that you watched.
Okay.
Which has a little bit more complication of like, okay, we're setting up with these things. You're going to tell him that he could buy it off of you, but for this much money. You know, it's getting into more complex, is our main character a good person, or is he seedy, or like kind of where does he lie in this?
That episode, situation? I do remember that part, and then I fell asleep, and then I woke up and I go, all right, it's 100 degrees, but I keep going, and like, so I just watched the next anime on the list. But yeah, we technically are caught up in the same episode. You just have more knowledge of it because you're conscious. So.
I guess that's true.
Good for you.
Would you recommend Tokyo Revengers? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, not really, honestly. Okay. So I mean, obviously, I'm not caught up with it. I had a friend tell me about the manga. He's like, you should check it out, kind of thing. It's the whole idea of like going back to the past, which reminds me a lot of Erase, which is also one of my favorite animes. And I was like, yeah, cool, bet. And I remember reading a little bit of the manga, but then just kind of forgetting about it. And then the anime got announced. I don't think it looks all that great visually at times. It's like, and a lot of the episodes have been just our main character getting his ass beat. Like, his solution to solving things is just him getting the shit kicked out of him.
Just throw himself at the problem and get beat up for it.
That's how it goes.
It's usually him like, hey man, don't do this, and then someone beats the hell out of him, and then the guys that can fight, they go like, hey, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't. Yeah, maybe we should stop. Maybe we should stop him from getting beat up really bad. But I don't know, maybe I'm a sucker for time travel, but I'm still watching it. I wouldn't say it's at the top of my list, and I don't think it's like a one of those must watch. It's kind of one of those things where like I'm already kind of invested. I might as well finish out this however long this goes. But yeah, if someone thinks otherwise, feel free to tell me. That's just kind of how I feel about it. But it is something I'm going to continue. And if I think me and Trip do this every season where we go, hey, if we say we drop something, we go, hey, if it picks up or something happens, let me know. I haven't hit that point. I don't think I'm going to hit that point for Trip. At least
okay, good to know.
It's got really messy time travel.
Yeah,
messy time travel, as in like it's not handled very well, or it's messy in that the story gets very complicated.
I think I didn't like how they were doing it.
I think the method of time travel just isn't clear at all. It's
Did you see Erased?
I haven't actually seen Erased.
You should watch that. It's a really good one.
I think that's the easiest parallel.
Okay.
Because like Steins Gate has time travel, Madoka Magica and stuff.
Right.
I feel like those two more closely relate to each other.
Right.
Where Tokyo Revengers and Erased closely relate to each other in how they deal with time travel and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I feel like Erased handles it in a lot more. Like they wanted you to be invested in the time travel element. Where Tokyo Revengers, it kind of feels like an afterthought.
Just kind of gives it to you. It's like. How does this work? No one knows.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It's more like, here's the next plot point. That's why the time travel is there.
The time travel is there more as a set piece rather than like a central plot element.
Yeah. And at least in Erased, and I don't want to spoil anything for Erased, but there's time travel, right? And it feels more realistic and earned, even though it's never really fully explained how it works, kind of like in Tokyo Revengers.
And it doesn't need to be. It just quickly breezes over it.
You just kind of accept it. You go, cool. All right. And that is for sure like a must watch visually. Erased is 1,000 times better than Tokyo Revenger. If you're gonna pick between these two, just
good to know.
Just watch Erased. Yeah,
Erased, fantastic.
I had been considering picking up Tokyo Revengers just because I like time travel stories, but knowing that Erased is out there,
knowing that there's a better version of it, absolutely. Yeah. And again, if you could watch Tokyo Revenger and maybe like it, but for me, it's like I'm gonna finish it because I'm not even watching that many this season, but no, there's nothing at this point where I'd be like, Trip, you got to get back in this. Like, there's nothing that would convince Trip that this is a good show, by his standards or whatever. So yeah, but
makes sense.
It is what it is. Check out Erased though for sure.
Okay, yeah.
I can tell you for sure that Zombieland Saga this week was one of the weaker episodes.
Well, you had two bangers back to back, so
yeah. So Zombieland Saga has been a lot of fun this season. It's just been doing like some wacky things with different characters and giving you just like little one-off episodes. This is the first two-parter, and it takes place back in the fucking day. We're talking
Eto period.
Pretty much.
Nice.
Yeah. So
it's the only period I know in Japan. Yeah. I go, the Eto period.
Yeah, you get name dropped. Nobunaga's name dropped, like always,
No big deal.
But one of the members of the Zombieland Saga band, she's from forever ago, and for some reason she's in modern day. So it's kind of explaining how she was zombified. Everyone loved her. She was amazing. And the thing that I didn't like about this episode is that they wanted to have cameos of all the other characters. Mm-hmm. So they just threw them in there as if it's their ancestors that were there.
It felt cheap, I guess.
Because the main guy, it's either his ancestor or he's fucking ancient. So okay. That's the deal with this one. Two-parter. We'll see how she dies next episode. So I don't know. His grandpa did necromancy. That's essentially what it comes down to.
Cool.
So he's trying to bring back. He's trying to restore honor to Saga, and that's kind of the whole idea of Zombieland Saga in the first place.
Right.
So he's been at it for hundreds of years.
That's a place in Japan, right?
Mm-hmm.
The
Saga Prefecture.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure. Okay.
Think of it like county. Or state.
Yeah.
But
where are you from? Saga. No big deal.
Yeah. So it's okay. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I'm looking forward to when we get back to exciting episodes. This felt like it was a lot of setup. So the next episode's either going to be a really, really solid one, or it's just going to continue the trend of, it's the same thing that we already saw. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we'll see about that. My Hero, still doing good shit. Deku is doing some Deku stuff like he has been the whole season, where he's like, I don't know what's happening to me. And that's the whole plot.
I'm Deku. Yeah.
But it was a great episode. I really enjoyed it. Of course, it's huge, and I don't want to spoil anything since it's such a big fucking show.
Are you on My Hero West or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
My eyes were shifting around. I'm like, I could take off my headphones like I normally do when you get onto My Hero. And I'm like, wait, no, I can't. I'm trapped.
Oh, no, that's weird. I mean, I'm not watching it right now because I'm supposed to watch it with my nephew. But I know what happens. Check out no, I'm not gonna tell you. But that is a good show, and I do really want to see the animes, the fights animated and stuff. And yeah, I do love the Deku not knowing. He's going through phases, bro. It's puberty, bro, essentially.
Yeah, he's going through his hero puberty.
His hero change.
Still learning about his powers in different ways.
Yeah. So where are you at in My Hero right now?
We've been watching that. We stopped about a week ago and haven't picked it back up yet, but we were watching and we got to, I think, season 4 at the like mid-season break. So
right after the raid on the
after.
Oh, okay, thank God, man. Fuck that raid.
But if you binge it,
we watched it week by week, and I was like, God, I hate this raid. It's taking forever.
I had been watching it as it was coming out.
Okay.
That was one of the few shows that I was consistently watching as it aired, and I dropped it midway through that. I'm like,
killed momentum.
Yeah. Like, this is taking a long time.
I rewatched that fourth season before this season came out, right? And I was just like, wow, why am I enjoying this so much more? It's like, oh, that's right, because it's just kind of all blurring through me as opposed to being like, oh, they're walking down the the hall again.
There were like 5 episodes of that hallway.
Oh, God damn, that's a long hallway. Yeah, and then the second half of this season that you're gonna get to, it's just a lot of fun. It feels good. It's like it's like a little change of pace. I feel like.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the most recent season. I've heard some good things about it.
Yeah,
I've been having a great time with it. It feels a lot like season 2. If that makes sense.
I think, and that
Nice.
might be one of my. I think that's my favorite season. The sports arc seasons.
Yeah,
probably one of my favorite seasons of My Hero for sure. My favorite intro, hands down. Fuck anybody that says otherwise. Best intro.
All right, I don't remember the
intro
intro
of that one.
It's the one where they're like warming up for the.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's stretching. And
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, that's an alright intro. I really liked the D&D outro.
Yeah,
What season was that from?
I think that was the second half of season 2, or maybe the first part of season 3.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, but why have they not fucking made figures of that yet? You know how many of those Trip would buy? Have just.
It's true.
That they were some good character designs.
Yeah, they were sick as shit. They should do an episode where they go back in time. We see all their ancestors and they look like that.
I'd love that.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
And no one's ever done that before. Yeah. Well.
Yeah. Anyways, My Hero, still good.
Good.
And then Megalobox, fantastic. Still, we got to see a new thing going. I really don't want to spoil it for you, but there's
Wes. I can't. He does this every week. I can't take off the headphones and walk away. He's got to talk.
Yeah.
Yep.
But essentially, we're no longer invested in being in the ring, but we are invested in other characters
in the ring
are around the ring.
Yes, people that sweep up the ring afterward. Nice.
Exactly. But no, it's good. It's getting back into the boxing in a different way. So I like that. And they were kind of starting out with that, with him being a coach. He, in like the second episode,
for sure,
or whatever, he was coaching. So it's not about Joe coaching at this point, but it is about Yuri coaching.
Okay.
So it's kind of interesting.
Okay. I don't want to ask anything because I'm like, I don't want anything spoiled. I was just about to ask you a question. Like, no, fuck it. I'll just wait and see it.
Dude, screw it. Who cares? That might be all the anime that we're collectively watching.
I think so. Yeah, the Funimation, the cover Funimation, because the only one I don't watch Funimation is Megalobox, and then Revenge and My Hero are the other ones that are. Yeah. That's cool, man. We did it. We fucking did it. That's the podcast. No, we got to talk about this week's news and then this week's dope ass topic.
Fortunately, I don't really have much news for you. Just a couple of things. There was a 25-year-old woman who was arrested for threatening to set fire on Wit Studio.
Man, fuck that. That's fucked up.
I don't understand what's going on with people in Japan setting anime studios on fire.
Right.
I don't know what the fuck is happening.
That's all you got, though. Like, I mean, that's all there really is. It's like a disgruntled employee, or like just some chick wants to burn it down.
It was just some chick.
That sucks, dude. Especially after the fire at
Kyoto.
Fucking KyoAni. It's like, really? Like, do we really need to go suffer through something like that again? Come on, let it go. What? Fuck. That sucks.
Really shitty.
I'm glad she got arrested, right?
Yeah, they apparently were on top of it and got wind of it before she showed up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in much better news.
Thank God. Okay.
I'm down for that.
Shirobako the Movie is going to come to North American theaters on August 10th, which means that hopefully most people are going to be vaccinated by then. Already, the U.S. is on track, so that's dope. Likely, we probably won't see it in our town, so we're going to have to go to a bigger city.
Go to Sacramento, yeah.
So that's going to be maybe our first,
little venture.
big outing. Yeah.
We're going out in the town to Sac.
You can go to that sushi restaurant I told you guys
dude.
about.
Yeah.
Sushi
What?
place.
Wes,
Go
you gotta
there
come, Wes.
before, go to ramen after.
Yeah, can we just take our sushi to the wrong place? It was like Off the Hook, something like that.
Sushi Hook.
Oh man,
You were really close.
I was close. I knew there was a
Really
hook involved.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did see the pictures. I'm like, those look fucking good. This episode brought to you by Sushi Hook from Sacramento.
Thank you to our sponsors.
Yeah, that's cool. Have you seen? Was it Shirobako? Right?
Shirobako.
Have you ever seen
I haven't.
Shirobako? That's an anime about them making anime. I think there's 2 seasons.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, but
Really good.
It's also really good. That's one I'm like, you should give it a shot, right? Like it's a slice of lifey, right? You know, there's
seems up my alley.
yeah, it's fun. That's a really good one.
Yeah, and I think that it does give an interesting perspective on how anime is created in the studio, like what all the different positions are. Whenever they run into problems, what happens. They even explain how recap episodes happen. So that was pretty wild for me to be like, whoa, they're being pretty candid about this shit. Like, it was good.
I don't remember what the term was, but they talked about once the anime starts when they get so rushed, it starts becoming super like washy or whatever. I was like, oh my god, yeah, that's what happened to what's it called, the fucking Seven Deadly Sins. I was like, oh, I understand why things sometimes look horrible.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
where it the almost like in between animations
they're
are just very rough.
Yeah, and it's because they don't have enough time, so they're rushing it all. So it's like it can't be as pristine. So it comes off as all like watery or wavy. Yeah, it's
interesting.
It's an interesting anime to watch, especially if you like anime, because there's like, right, you get to see the sausage made. And it's a bunch of cute girls and they like donuts, right? Come on now.
Yeah. Oh, it's done fantastic.
Yeah.
They handle everything really well. And this movie is getting some bizarre reception right now. So I'm excited to see it. I don't know. People just feel like it was unnecessary. So that makes me want to see it even more.
Yeah, fuck them. I don't know. Maybe not fuck them. We'll have to see, and then we'll decide.
Yeah, no, whenever there's a critical review of something that has been highly anticipated, it makes me more interested in it. I'm like, are people assholes or like, are they being for reals? Mm-hmm. We'll find out.
It's like the opposite of when someone hypes something up too much.
Exactly. Yeah. It's who knows. So excited about that. Yeah. August 10th.
Dope.
And another date for something. Love Live Superstar begins July 11th. So another continuation of that beautiful song series.
Cool.
That's all the news I got.
Good, man. Let's talk about this week's sick ass topic, which is
Garzey's Wing.
Oh, that's what it was. Yep, Garzey's Wing. Yep, I watched that. It felt like a fever dream. So
it was a fever dream.
We've already said it before. Garzey's Wing was an anime made in 1996. It was made by one of our favorite studios, JC Staff. You might remember them from the second season of One Punch Man. And that's the only one that I'm willing to reference right now.
Okay, they also did, what's it, The Way of the Househusband. Fuck them.
Yeah. Yep. They didn't.
What?
Yep.
I hate them.
They're a bummer.
But they did a really good job on this one, so it's okay.
Garzey's Wing was also directed and written by Yoshiyuki Tomino, which is the same person that worked and created and directed Gundam. Mobile Suit Gundam.
No way, really?
He also was one of the main writers for Astroboy going way back.
Wow. What happened, dude?
This man had some experience, and was it worth it? No, not at all. It didn't pay off.
I mean,
it was 96. He had been working on shit forever.
Oh, for a second, I understood as he was 96. Like, what is he doing making
it? It was
anime?
96.
That would explain why it is the way it is if he's that old.
This was one of the later things in his catalog, I think.
Maybe he just kind of he
lost it.
Yeah, he fell off of it or whatever.
Yeah,
it was truly a thing to see this show, this 3-episode OVA. I kept joking that, wow, this was Wes's favorite anime growing up. This is so great. And you're like, no. I was like, that's not the case at all. Can you explain to us how this game
contextualize Garzey's Wing?
How this became a part of your world and why it became part of our world?
Yeah, absolutely. So for me, there was a period where I would get together with some friends and we would all bring just a terrible movie or a terrible show or something like that. And we would show the first 5 to 10 minutes of whatever we were talking about. And then based on whatever we thought was going to be the worst or the weirdest thing to watch, we would watch that. And one of the weeks, Garzey's Wing came to the table, and we all agreed that it was truly bizarre, especially, as we'll get into, I'm sure, because the first episode is just a mess.
Oh my god.
So Garzey's Wing isn't something that you could like go out of your way and find on any anime streaming service. No. However, you can find it dubbed on YouTube. Completely out of order. I mean, not completely, but like mostly out of order. The first episode is the last episode in that like hour and a half chunk of YouTube video. But other than that, it was all in the same order.
Yeah, or you can be a purist, right? You can buy it on Amazon on VHS for what, like $900?
Oh, what was it? Yeah, it was fucking
like $90, right?
Yeah. Yeah, if you wanted to get the VHS, it cost more than getting the DVDs of it. So you can buy the DVDs on Amazon. I don't know what the heck's going on with it. But Garzey's Wing is definitely worth watching with your homies if you want to watch some absolute trash anime.
Yeah, I highly recommend having some sort of alcohol inside of you. Like, it just made it so much better to just be drinking ciders and be like, yeah.
This was my third time watching it. I don't think I've seen it sober.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the way that this whole anime kind of rolls itself out is the first episode is the most exposition you could ever get without having any real exposition. I don't know how else to put it, but it jams so much information in there that isn't helpful in any way to figure out what's actually going on with the plot. It's a fever dream. It's bizarre. It just throws each new situation at you without leaving a second to breathe.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, go for it.
It's essentially an isekai from 1996, back before it was really too much of a thing.
Yeah, isekais weren't really popularized. There was like Digimon,
right?
You know,
and within that, they introduce this character to the world, and he is lost as to what's going on. The show makes no effort whatsoever to explain to the viewer what any of this stuff is either. I had actually gone back after we watched it the next day, and I watched the first episode again because I wanted to make a glossary of terms. There were, I believe, 30 names or objects that were named and not defined in the first episode.
Right. Yeah. That's so. Besides the pacing that was insane, I think we were trying to count in my head at least how long a scene would last, and it was like a few seconds, and they would go to the very next thing. And I think like the longest scene in my head was maybe like 8 Mississippis, right? And I was just it was nuts how much they put into it. And at a certain point, it felt like in the show a day had passed or something. And I don't know which one was brought up. I said, hey, how long do you think has gone by? And then I think you said, oh, it's probably been a few weeks, Wes. And I was just like, what? I thought it's been a couple hours or something, like
the flow of time was completely incomprehensible.
Yeah, it was wild. And maybe that's just the way time works in this universe, right? To play devil's advocate, that's how they want it to be. But yeah, it absolutely was all these words that they refused to give definitions of, or it's like places of things, names of people, or names of objects, right? And just and they weren't like tiny words. Like you could just be like, oh, that little word probably means this thing. It was this massive, super long, made up words.
3+ syllables easily.
Yeah, that were like, what is that? And we, at the end of every episode, we would take a pause and be like, hey, let's kind of go back and talk about what we thought happened this episode. And the hardest
show
one
didn't give you a second to breathe, so we needed to give ourselves
Yeah.
all the time that we missed throughout the episode.
Right. And the first one was the one that we had to take the longest to talk about. Being like, so we think this is what's going on, and we think these are the people, and we think they're going here because of this. We don't know, right? Essentially. And then as the show progressed, it became easier to be like, oh, it wasn't better. It was just a little bit easier to understand what was happening because we've already been doing it for like an hour. We're like, oh, fuck.
It also probably helped that as we were watching it, every time a new phrase would be dropped, we would collectively put our heads together to figure out
Like, who is that? Yeah, yeah.
what that object is or who they're referring to.
Or we
It
just
didn't
laugh.
help.
Yeah, or we just laugh like, what a dumb word. God, there's some really good shit in this, not because it was good, but because it was so bad it was good kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like I'm not one of those people that likes good movies, like bad movies for, because they're bad. Sierra is. I've become slowly a person that likes to tolerate that more. And this is absolutely one of those cases of something being bad that it's good because it's bad, right? Kind of thing.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like I think when you first talked about it, we were on the pod, you were talking in the chat about it, I started watching some of it and I had to stop. I was like, yeah, no, there's no way I could do this by myself. There has to be some sort of collective group watching this. But yeah, I'm very grateful I watched it. I had a really good time hanging out with you guys watching this stupid thing.
Yeah, I mean, that's really the only way to handle stuff like
for
this.
sure, yeah.
So I'm not sure how we should talk about the plot of this. But essentially you just have some goddamn nobody.
Well, his name is Chris.
Yeah.
Some goddamn nobody named Chris, who happens to have a necklace that was in his family that is somehow linked to another world, wherein he would be the hero if summoned there.
Yeah, Garzey's wings, bro.
The overall plot of the show.
Yeah. It's like a really simple isekai, right? There's no real, you don't think about it too hard. It's like cool. Simple because it's like what brought him to this other world? They summoned him to this world to save them, essentially. Yeah. That's right.
Except instead of being hit by a truck, he was hit by a goose.
A goose that flew him into the world, and then he picked up a fairy, right? What do they call it?
A Filarial?
Yeah, Filarial along the way. And
which was in between worlds because Filarial exist within another realm that somehow these people are aware of.
Right.
But they don't like the Filarial.
Guys, it's really straightforward. I don't know why you're fucking making this so hard on yourselves. But yeah, it is this has to be the oldest isekai I've ever seen. And it really made me miss the modern day isekai, which sometimes does such a fucking boring job of explaining every little thing to you that you go, come on, let's keep it pushing. I missed that, right? It was just like, please, someone take a moment to sit down Chris and explain to him where he is and who the factions are that they're fighting and what's going on. But there wasn't that at any moment.
No.
Dude, you're our hero. You're going to just do whatever we say because we summoned you here. We're the good guys. Those are the bad guys. It's really easy to tell because we told you that. Yeah,
what's really funny too is that sometimes Trip was just like, maybe they are the bad guys. We don't fucking know. Or like, why are they fighting them? Why are they hunting them down? Like, we're just never explained. They're just being hunted. All of that, I think, that made the part that made it really good was the fact that the way people spoke in this world, or just the dub, right? Because we did watch it
specifically in the dub.
It was everybody was just yelling at each other super loud, and they almost sounded like barbaric, right? Like they sounded like cavemen.
It had to be the directing of it. They had to be like, this is an archaic world, which it was. I mean, it was kind of. They had metal things. They had armor, so it wasn't like Stone Age, but it wasn't that much past that. They didn't have any real civilization outside of the first episode, but they did have like camp setups that they were able to transport.
The wheel existed. They had wagons, right? So they had advanced that far, right?
They had gunpowder.
Yeah. No guns, though. That killed me. That really killed me. They're like, wow, we're using this gunpowder. It's like, why you should just call it black powder or boom powder. But like, no, it's gunpowder. Like, where the fuck are your guns?
No guns.
Why? And then the like Chris drawing a gun in the sand. Like, we got to make these, And it's just like, he's just drawing like a really shitty gun. I was like, yep, I could make a gun from that drawing. How hard is that? But yeah, it had to be the direction they were going to. Like, they're like, hey, play it like this. And it led to like a lot of funny moments, like of things being said in that really, really strange, I don't know.
But the voice acting was kind of the same way when it went to like modern day.
That was the hardest part to tell about.
Yeah, that is true.
Because there were some people that you could tell they were really trying. They were really trying to do their voice acting job well. Right. Essentially being like Chris and... I don't know. There was like one other character. Yeah. Maybe it was the little fairy.
Fairy's pretty good, but man, they were so mean to her. Like, fuck you, fairy. She's like, oh.
Yeah, that was a whole other con.
the fairy. Yeah. Even Chris.
I don't get that either. The fairy wasn't any worse than anyone else.
Who was your guys' favorite voice actor? Because honestly, I really liked his girlfriend. Like,
oh yeah, the one that's like, "Hey Chris, you're sexy
So
suddenly,"
good.
or like whatever.
she was so good, like in the worst way. But God, she killed me sometimes.
Apparently, that's not actually his girlfriend. There's no implied relationship between them.
I'm pretty sure.
What?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. I mean, by the end, there definitely was some implied relationship.
Yeah, I'm positive that she, gave him a little wristy while he was like laying in his bed. Like, I'll make you better, Chris. He's just like, ugh. That was really. I was like, are they really doing this? Again, implied.
Right.
It's implied horniness. We're okay with. You know.
So the way that this
it
wasn't
showed the bells dinging in the wind.
He's like, yeah.
The way that this wasn't an isekai though is that he was transported to this other world, but he also wasn't.
Right. It was that is something that took me a second to pick up. His spirit got pulled out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so there was
as they do.
Mm-hmm. And then there was two Chris's, one in the, what was the world's name? Bystonwell, thank you. And then one in, normal Japan, right?
Right.
And then the only difference was like, oh shit, Chris in Japan now has no necklace because that one with the guy that flew into the, Bystonwell or whatever.
Taken by the goose.
And so the grandma was like, don't worry, let me get you another necklace. Get another necklace. And wouldn't you know it, the necklaces can communicate through some sort of walkie-talkie. And now Chris is talking to Chris. And that shit was good. Yeah. Oh, whenever they talk to each other was fucking fire too.
Do you mean that when we're in the real world, or when you get damaged in the fake world, I get damaged in the real world? Probably.
Yeah, probably.
I love that even the characters within the show have no idea what the fuck is going on, and they don't plan on following up with an answer. Like,
I really liked what was it like? Hey man, that sucks that that's going on with you. I have to go to my high school reunion right now because I think it's going to do really well for my mental health right now. I was just like, what? That one got me.
Going back to your earlier question, I think my favorite voice actor was probably his friend that was at the pool who was weirdly understanding of everything that was going on and explaining it. He was the only person in the show.
Guy, not the glasses girl.
Yeah,
the guy.
The brown-haired guy who was the only person in this entire show who explained anything.
Yeah, that was really good too. I liked him. I did like the glasses girl because I think I'd made a joke like he's gonna be like, oh, you look hot or whatever. And then he fucking did it. He was just like, wow, you've really gotten a lot better looking over the years. Like, wow, Chris, the balls on this guy. I cannot believe that wasn't his girlfriend though. What a real homie.
Yeah.
She just shows up to the pool thing and then he gets unwell and then they go, we're going to go eat. She's like, okay, well, I'm leaving. He's like, no, come eat with us. And he's just like, are you sure? Bitch, you're already here. Like, what, where else are you going to go? Like, you invited yourself to our high school reunion. That is already super weird,
Yeah.
Yeah, those are really two good characters. So far, at least votes wise, people in the real world are beating out the people from the fake world.
I also think it's a lot easier to know who the characters are in Japan,
right,
versus the isekai world, because in the isekai world, I don't know how many
there
characters there were. Like, there were so many characters in this other world, and most of them were cannon fodder. But the ones that weren't, I don't really know what their roles were half of the time. Like, there's very clearly the chick that summoned him, as well as
the bells.
kids.
Yeah, with their two kids that look exactly the same but like different hair colors, right?
Yeah, exactly. We understood who they were. Mm-hmm. There was also some chick who was really good at fighting.
Yeah.
And then there were bad people.
Yeah.
And then they were like, and here's some people that are kind of bad, but we're going to work with them.
Right.
Like, they had a bunch of different characters that did have roles in the story. Pretty unclear what their roles were.
Oh, yeah.
Like Bomb Guy.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I really wanted... I'm like trying to think about it really hard. I think after the fact, I was like, wait, who was the leader of the people that were like the good guys, right? Like, who was in charge? Because I know that the Bells chick talked to someone else. I was like, wait, was it the old guy with the beard? Or was it the other guy with the beard? Or was it the guy with the weird red hair? It was like...
I think it was Beard Guy.
I'm assuming my money's on Beard Guy too, but which Beard Guy? Like, it just there
were a lot of Beard Guys.
There was never a point where he's like, "Hey, Chris, I'm so and so, leader of the." That never happened, right? And did it make it a better show? No. Like, if we're saying, is this a good show? No. But did it make it more entertaining? Absolutely.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, for sure. So, Trip, did you have a favorite horrible voice actor?
Horrible? No.
No.
Of course not.
No, you didn't have a favorite one?
I think that all of them did a terrible job in their own ways.
Yeah.
That really shined.
They all shone.
Nobody was in particular better
Right.
than another one at being bad.
Mm-hmm.
I think that there were some standout lines from characters, but that
Yes.
doesn't make them the best bad voice actor, in my opinion.
Okay, that's fair.
When you started that statement, I thought for sure you were going to be very generous. Be like, I don't think there were any like bad voice actors.
No,
You-
they
you'd be
were
like,
terrible. They were
all-
all bad.
They all gave it their best go.
No.
You know? Yeah.
Most of them phoned it in because they were like, I have to read how many lines for 3 episodes? I'm getting paid how much?
I think we also argued that maybe hypothesized that like at one point, maybe in this world, you just have to yell as loud as you can because there's no time to like to get a word in, right?
Everything's happening
It's,
so quickly.
yeah, everything's so quick that if you don't say something, you just miss out.
Right.
Yeah, but favorite lines. I think my favorite line is Chris fighting that dude that's on the dinosaur, and he's
Right.
like bashing him with the broken sword, and he just says a really long person's name. I can't even say it because I don't know how long it is, but he just yells. It's like "damn you," and he just like says a super long name.
Yamato Takeru no Mikoto, I believe.
It was so good.
Yeah.
Like
it was a lot of
we had-
syllables
it
to
was-
fit into a shout.
I made Trip go back and like play it again. I was like, Trip, I gotta hear that one more time, you know. But that was probably that was maybe my favorite line. That one, or I also really liked the probably. That was just really, really good.
Probably.
that
you know,
pregnant pause beforehand.
yeah,
Mhm.
Probably.
yeah. That one's good.
It's the only time that they let a character breathe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that or the very beginning where his girlfriend, not his girlfriend, is just watching him, leave or whatever. Yeah, so since the plot doesn't matter in this thing, because like we said, the first bit's insane, right? And then they just slowly, we don't even know where they were going. We think they were going to some sort of tree or place or whatever, right?
Yes, they are trying to get to a tree because the kingdom. I looked up some.
Yeah,
of the
you did
plot
research
synopsis.
on
Yeah,
this.
yeah. Let us know. Let us know what you learned, because we didn't learn much.
We definitely didn't learn much from watching. So there is a tree that apparently the tribe that Chris has allied himself with, they have a tree that has magic powers that are not defined at all, and they want to go there, and they are refugees escaping from the evil kingdom that had been using them as slaves to build the kingdom.
Okay, cool.
But the king had let them go purposefully so he could follow them to the tree.
To the tree.
Because he wants the tree for some reason.
Yeah, well, the tree's got the best fruit. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Best shade from that tree.
Trying to figure out why each character wanted something to happen was consistently a struggle. But you always knew what their goal was.
Well, yeah.
You just didn't know why that was their
Well,
goal.
yeah, for sure. They just, we have to do this thing.
We have to make the bells. We have to go to the tree.
Did we get
have
the
to-
clay? Yeah, but why? Why do you need the bells? Don't fucking matter.
I don't know.
Shut
I
up.
don't even
Do
know
your-
how they're
yeah.
using the clay. I don't know how anything fits into the ways that they used them, supposedly. Because we didn't actually get to see them doing the stuff that they wanted to do.
Yeah, they never make it to the tree. Spoiler
Yeah,
alert.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Another thing we also kind of glanced by is since he was summoned to this world by this weird goose or whatever, and he's got this necklace or whatever that has bells on it. Chris also has these like ethereal wings that come out of his legs, right? Is like his heels.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how you know he is the chosen
And
person.
they go, he's the chosen one. He has Garzey's wings, right? Like that who is maybe some person. I think you assumed was like
A former
hero, right? So Chris has this ability. He can fly every now and then, but not all the time, because Garzey's wings is a fickle bitch. It picks and chooses when he can use his abilities. Yeah, and that really never. Why did he get the Garzey's wings? Is it some sort of ancestral thing? We don't know. It's like, again, never fucking resolved. Never
it's
explained.
fate, it's prophecy, it's
He had
just what it
the
is.
right puka shell necklace on the right time, and he got whisked away to this beautiful world. I think I guessed that like this wasn't going to end. I mean, you knew because you'd seen this. I guess
Right.
this is your third watching.
Yeah,
Like,
this is my third time
oh
seeing
my
it.
god, dude, what a brave person. But yeah, there's no resolution. They don't ever make to the tree. It ends. You had a better one. I was like, it ends with Chris flying off with his girlfriend, or maybe not his girlfriend, on his motorcycle. Very reminiscent of Grease or like Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Like he's just they're off into the world. They're going back to Tokyo. No, Japanese Chris is doing that. Chris in the isekai world, I don't fucking know what he's doing, man.
He's still there. He killed a man and then threw up, and that was at the end of his arc.
Yeah, that was also a really good part. He had to kill he had to kill the dude that had the really long name. Because he wounded him, but he wasn't dead. And like, all right, you got to finish it. This is all culture. This is like the right thing to do. Put him out of his misery. And he's just like, I don't think I can do it. You know,
they've been exploding motherfuckers the whole time.
You stabbed the dude like
in the face.
20 minutes. You have blood all over your face, Chris. He's just like, I don't think I can do this. And then like teach him how to kill some guy. So he did it, and then he's just like vomiting in the corner. He's like, man, what a horrible Garzey's wing. You know, he's just
everybody. Literally, Chris in the isekai world's arc ended with everybody being disappointed in him.
Yeah, right? Be like, wow, what a lame fucking chosen warrior. Like, oh, fuck.
I mean, it makes sense why they would do that, especially coming from something like Gundam, to where that's a common trope in mech animes, to where when a character kills something and they like vomit. Actually realize
what they
the
did.
Repercussions of their actions and that they just finally ended a life. But this felt like it was really shoehorned in there just to give it that like extra depth that didn't exist.
Yeah, they tried to give him like
so
emotions, right? They tried to give him like feelings and make him deep. Like, nah, dude, you're the same guy that was licking arrows and trying to, put what are they? I don't know, Kana.
The fairies?
The bags that had like it was explosive, some sort of
the powder.
Yeah, like some sort of explosive powder. And he licks the arrow, puts it in there, and like it's not sticking. It's like no shit, that's not how spit works. And then the fairy's just like, I got this really nasty goo on my back, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like, all right, let's see it. It was disgusting. He rubbed it in, perfect. Boom, exploding arrows.
That scene was weirdly well animated.
That was
everything else,
the best part. Oh, also, the quality that was on YouTube was horrible, right?
Oh, trash.
It looked really bad. So
pixels. I mean, it was
It was a hard watch. But that one specific moment did look solid, and I'm really upset it looked that good.
The one scene they put effort into.
Yeah. It's like, hey, I'm really loving this fairy have like disgusting wings that just seep goo. Oh, I got you.
Shoulders. Let's rub this arrow on her.
Let's do it. That one was good. I also really liked the other guy that didn't know how gunpowder worked, but he was still their bombs worked, but he's still in charge of all the bombs.
Definitely the best side character.
It's really funny. He's like lighting the bombs. Please work. Oh, I hope that's enough time. Dude, fucking learn your job, man. You're the bombs dude. He's like had no clue.
I just finished watching season 2 of The Boys.
Okay.
And there's a character in that, Frenchie, who's really good at like repurposing a bunch of drugs in order to do stuff to superheroes while also being like a tinkerer. So he's able to like put some weird ass supplies together and make a weapon to use against superheroes. But every single time some character's like, so this is gonna do that, and he's like, I hope so.
Yeah,
maybe, probably,
we'll see.
Like,
yeah
we will see.
The bomb dude in this show had big Frenchie vibes. Like, I
really like the idea of a character just he's the only one that can do it, so he's the best we got. We're just gonna let him keep doing his shit. Maybe it'll work.
Yeah. Also in the isekai world, he had what I think was supposed to be a love interest. There was the blonde-haired girl that was a soldier that was just like got jealous of him for talking to the chick with the bells, and then she even has a moment where like she has like that really classic they invert the colors, right? Like so if everything becomes positive or negative, whatever, and she's just like having this internal monologue. It's like, am I just jealous that like this whole bullshit? I'm like, why is this here?
It came out of nowhere.
Where did this happen? Yeah, and there's like it was just not. It wasn't. Did a horrible job of presenting that?
Yeah.
And then she's just like really quickly also gets over it. She's like, oh, whatever. We're just. If he's happy, I'm happy. Here, take my sword. And she throws the sword up in the air.
Dude, that was such a good part too, because she throws it up. And he whiffs it.
But it just goes up and comes back down, right?
Yeah, no, he was already going away from it, so it completely misses him. Because he doesn't have, like, great control over Garzey's wing, I think is the idea. But yeah, completely misses the sword. And then he uses his, I think his sword just had a tiny little bit of the blade left. Because it was broken, yeah. Most of it got chopped off from somebody else.
So he's just bashing the dude with that. The sword fight the animation was also very it was very, imagine what it was like when you had two action figures that had the chop action.
Oh yeah.
Back and forth, So he did that, and then they fucked up because after he knocks the dude off the dinosaur, he then has a sword with like a full blade on it. I was like, oh, that's not right.
Maybe Garzey's wing restored it.
The inconsistencies. No, fuck them. They did a horrible job with that. That's when I knew this was actual garbage. That was the moment that convinced me. Yeah, there's so much just crazy fun stuff to dissect. By no means it being good though, right?
Yeah. It and that sword thing you brought up where she threw it up, that had happened. I don't know if you remember that happened.
Oh, I
remember. They did it again. Yeah, they just recycled that animation, right?
Yeah, she kept throwing the sword up to him like every battle, and he never caught it. You would have thought by the end it would have been some sort of like character arc payoff where he like catches it, and they're like,
oh my God,
we worked together.
No,
I don't think that this show knew what tone it was going for either.
Yeah,
if it was going for a comedy tone or a serious tone, because it took itself very seriously, but they also fit in a bunch of jokes, and there were visual jokes as well as dialogue jokes,
like when the alligator's head gets cut off and it starts biting his crotch and he's trying to kick it away.
There's other stuff like that where it was just like it got very anime, right? Like very anime tropey,
but it was so dense that it would shift tones within the same scene 3 times. It was crazy.
Or it was brilliant. We don't know. We'll never know.
Yeah. Well, I have a theory on that because I found out that apparently the director, Mr. Tomino, had written a light novel that lasted between 1983 and 1986 that was the Beist Well saga. So he had this whole world planned out that he had also done one other anime and a sequel to that takes place 700 years after the fact.
I heard about that. I wasn't willing to look more into it, but I actually heard about that Garzey. There's the Garzey Wing universe is larger, right? There's not just this one really weird anime. There's like more shit out there for it.
Yeah, there's a 50 episode anime that was put out in the mid 80s.
Oh, gotta do it. No, I think that's when I stopped. When I found out it was in the 80s, like no.
Back,
I can't watch that. There's no way I could watch that.
And then there's a Neo. I don't remember what it's called, but it starts with Neo, and it is a 3-episode OVA that takes place 700 years after the events of everything else in Beist Well.
So they're still trying to get to the tree 700 years from now, huh?
I guess so.
That's wild.
So there's this whole other world that we're being introduced to that we don't know about.
That's why it was so hard. They just assumed we saw the 50 episodes before, and all the stuff that they were saying in the first episode is something we already knew. That's on us. We should have known.
We dropped the ball.
Fuck, dude.
That's why they were O&As instead of an actual series.
Yeah.
They're just for the true fans.
It was like, oh, this is just a fun side story about this guy who gets pulled to the world instead of a story about the world. But I know for a fact that Valerials are a big part of the first story, and they are hated throughout the series. That was the one tidbit I found out about that 50 episode show.
And then, even though that existed previously, they bring it over in this, and then they never contextualize why everybody hates the fairies. People just hate them.
Doesn't Chris ask at one point, like, hey, why is everybody so mean?
Yeah.
And then there's like, we just are.
That was pretty much the explanation,
like,
wasn't it?
Yeah, more or less.
They said, I don't remember what her name was, but they're like,
all Valerial are awful.
She was like, she's pretty good, but more often than not, they're just really mean tricksters and pieces of shit. So we're just it's a blanketed statement. They're all
and that
horrible.
Was in like the last of the 3 episodes that happened.
That might have been like in the last 10 minutes also.
Yeah, I think that was after the last battle, right?
Right, like after he's done vomiting, like, hey, why are people so mean to her? He's
as we're sitting there, like, why are they still treating her like shit? She has been nothing but useful.
She's so resourceful.
Yeah.
She's like going and making maps.
She's got the goo on her back, dude. She's out there.
She almost got ripped apart in the most horrific.
That was terrifying.
Scene.
I really did think that they're going to rip her in half. Thank God they
early 90s anime, that could have happened.
Yeah,
exactly.
Dude. Or it could have been way worse,
Oh, yeah.
Thank God she took off her boots that she was wearing that I had no idea she was wearing. or that was her skin. And that's how they can take their skin off like that. That was wild. But I'm glad she didn't get squished,
So while it's impossible to fully give anybody the plot that takes place over the course of an hour and a half, that's barely cohesive or coherent, it boils down to just a person summoned to another world in order to help out and get to some special tree, and he does help out in whatever way he can, which honestly isn't much. I didn't think that he needed to be there. I felt like everyone else was very resourceful, but he did bring the fairy, which really did a lot more than he did.
Really did.
There was times where like, why aren't you using your Garzey? He's like, I can't fucking get the wings to work. It's like, really? That's why we have you here. That's the name of the show, and you're really fucking it up, kind of thing. So he really was just kind of a dud hero. I guess he came through at the end. He killed that one guy. So, but guess what? There's the bigger bad that still made it out, and then there's even a bigger bad that we don't even know anything about, right?
Yeah, probably never resolved.
Nothing is ever
maybe
resolved.
In the light novel.
Maybe 700 years in the future, in that world, something gets changed.
I assume 700 years from then, at least.
It's all up in the director's brain.
Yeah.
But nothing really mattered in Tokyo at all.
But that's probably my favorite part, honestly. The Tokyo bits are probably him yelling at his grandma for the udon being too hot on the summer. He's like, why would you give me hot noodles on this hot day? She's just like, shut up, fucking eat your fucking soup. I was like, yeah, you tell her, grandma.
The whole anime was an absolutely bizarre fever dream. And like we said, every second through the first episode was filled with content. It didn't give you a second to breathe at all.
Yeah.
You got your money's worth.
Yeah, absolutely. Sure. And then continuing through it, it did slow down a little bit. So that first episode, really jam-packed. Everything else, a little bit more palatable.
Right.
But all in all, absolutely not worth it.
No.
And no.
I mean, I think if like you do it the way Wes does it, I'm assuming the other 2 times you watched it, you also watched it with friends drinking, right? Mm-hmm. That's the only way you can do this. Yeah. Besides that, I don't see any merit in it, right? Like even like if you're an old super anime fan of old stuff, like this can't be good by those standards either. Like, right? Like at least in my opinion, I don't know if I'm wrong, but I don't see anything in it that I'm just like, you know what? This was great. Like nothing.
The reception was terrible across the board. I believe.
Even the outro song sucked too. Also.
Oh yeah.
I would really like though if this became something like The Room or like the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh, like a cult classic.
A cult following, and it winds up having all these inside jokes and whatnot. With The Room, people throwing spoons at the screen when there's
that would be really
just
fun.
Stuff in the background.
You can throw your Simtar at the screen.
Yeah.
Every time someone throws a Simtar for no reason.
You just gotta throw your swords, man. That's just what it comes down to.
Yeah, there'd be a lot of fun things you could do. You could like yell. You could yell every time the dude yells that dude's name, right? Yeah. When the people are mean to the fairy, they could go one of 2 ways. You could also be mean to the fairy,
boo,
or you could be like boo to the whole situation because fuck them for treating her like shit, right?
Yeah, you throw ramen at the screen or udon.
When it's too hot. Exactly. Hot. You ring your bells.
Come on, Grandma.
You just ring some bells every time that they're having a conversation through the phone.
Everyone takes their clothes off when Chris does that first battle naked.
Yeah, right. No penis. So in that world, there's no dicks.
Pubes though.
A lot of for sure pubes. It killed me because like it was that thing where I was saying, how long has this been going on? You said a few weeks, maybe. I was like, maybe a few hours. They didn't give this fucking guy pants for so long. It was like, hey, just put on this shirt. Let's go. Like, he had a burlap sack on.
Yep.
It was a really fun time.
Yes. Yeah.
But it was only thanks to you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's the thing. It's a company that you're with and like what you're doing, maybe making a drinking game out of it or something. That's the only way I would recommend this.
I am chill with your homies and watch it.
I'm really happy you brought this into our life. It's something that I will always treasure.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, but by no means will I be like, hey man, what's a good anime for you? You like Erased? You should check out Garzey Wing. Like it's 1 and 2 right there. Interchangeable.
Top notch isekai.
I admit I was a bit worried because this was my first time actually meeting Juan in person.
Oh yeah.
But
you knew him enough through the podcast to know.
I mean, I knew him. He didn't really know me, so I didn't want to come into his life and be like, "Hey, check this out."
It's like, what an asshole! Like, why would he do this to me? No, it was great. I did also joke. I was like, so this is your first anime, huh? It's cute. I like this.
Yep, that's where I started out.
Wow, look how far we've gotten. No,
it was probably someone's first anime.
Oh yeah, poor them. And they probably just
and
wrote off anime.
Definitely their last, if it was their first.
Which is absolutely understandable. So it was a really fun time. And the pod is really good too. I had a really good time hanging out with Trip all the time, right? Yeah. But Wes, thanks for being on the pod. You're always in the chat talking to us. more recently, when we ask you to knock on the bottom of with your roof Trip's floor to confirm something, you do, which I think is always really funny.
Now that you two are meeting in person, I can just get your attention real quick if I need to.
It's like, hey, what do you think, Wes? And we had to wait for the 10-second delay, and then we hear doof, doof, doof. I was like, yeah, Wes is down. So yeah, so
great.
I think that's it though. That's the pod, right? Garzey's Wing. It's wrap.
That's Garzey's Wing, baby.
Garzey's Wings, baby.
Check it out on YouTube or buy it for $90 on VHX.
Yeah. Yeah. And next week we're going to review that 50 episode anime that they did in the 80s. So hope you guys are ready.
Thank you guys for listening.
Yeah. So so next week we don't know what we're doing exactly, right?
We are doing something for Pride.
Yeah, so we're going to do something for Pride. What that is, we don't know. If you have any animes or movies or shows that, you think embody that kind of stuff, send it your way.
Well, we've seen a lot. Maybe, depending on how much time I have, we've got some different options that we could explore.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We'll get something going. But yeah, if you like our theme song, check out Not Mars on Spotify. Trip, where can you find us?
You can find us on Facebook. Look up the Instant Ramen Podcast. You can find us on Instagram. Look up Instant Ramen Podcast. And you can find us on Twitter. Tweet at Instant Ramen Pod.
Podcast didn't fit.
And each week we also stream on Twitch, so twitch.tv/Crispather. It's a lot of fun. You can hang out before and after and kind of just like chill and ask questions and whatnot.
Come hang out with me and chat.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Wes will be there.
there.
Wes is always hanging out, just yelling at us. So it's a good time. Wes, thanks for coming. Hope you had a good time. Thanks for bringing your camera. Everything was super dope. We figured it all out, and hopefully we can air this pod with no problems.
Yeah, there were some issues, but whatever. Hey, yeah, next week we'll see you guys later, and it's been fun.
Guys, bye from Juan.
See you on from Chris.
Bye, this is Wes.
hey, Trip, don't forget.
Me?
Oh, hey, Wes, don't forget.
Me?
Yeah, hey, Trip, don't forget.
Just have hot water.
There you guys, you did
it.
Hey,
perfect.
Good job, guys.
Probably.